Hello again, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. Talcott time. I forgot to put my hashtags in the video description today, but I'm learning and growing, and today's another beautiful day. Thank you. Thank you to those who are joining and will join at a later date. To those already in chat, Austin Murphy, Chuck, Paul Laporta, thank you. And I glanced over at the Proper Instruction Motivates People channel earlier briefly, and Paul, if you and the others are there, hey, Freedom Grower, thank you. Talcott Express too. Hey, much love to everyone. Today I wanted to share kind of more of what I went through today. You know, first off, I'll bring you to where I am, and I love being me. And I am so grateful that you are here sharing this experience that I get to live, because I'm friggin' loving it. I love being Jack these days. And so part of getting to this point was pushing past my disbelief. See, each of us hit these times in our lives with where we face a lot of darkness, a lot of uncertainty, where we don't know the direction of what's going on. We all face these times in states of confusion. It's part of the human process. And when we don't have answers, when we don't have the explanation, we know there's a problem. We know there's a situation going on, and it's just, we can't take it. We can drive ourselves nuts when we don't have an answer, when we haven't found the solution. So today I woke up, my faith was a little challenged, and I got in my head last night, missing my kid, and played a little pity party. Oh, poor me. I saw the sunshine today, heard the birds chirping, got in my stretch, my massage, worked out the kinks in my back, and I pushed past my disbelief. Because I extended some invitation to some people here in town, so I'll probably mention a couple. Kevin, I had a great conversation, met a guy named Kevin today. Golly geez, if you do happen to tune in, welcome. It was a pleasure. We had some inspiring conversations about faith after I pushed past my disbelief this morning. But another thought I thought about in line with that, pushing past our disbelief and pushing past our anxiety, pushing past our feelings into acceptance. All right. Yep. This is real. This is really real. Everything that I know, everything I don't like, everything I do like is really real. Whew. All right. That fight is over. Once we push past our disbelief into acceptance, and sometimes the acceptance is we know there's a problem. Sometimes it's we just got to accept that for every problem there is a solution, and maybe it's just out of our reach right now. Or maybe it's just the solution is just out of the reach of our minds right now. But, life and creation and the way everything works, everything has some magical way of coming together. I mean, life really is kind of perfect until we bring in our attitudes and our judgment and our opinions, and then it's all shitty. It's really easy to do. It's really easy to see the bad and overlook the good. It's real easy to do that when we don't have a mind that's open to inspiration or to challenges. I friggin' love life. And I love you. Hey, respectfully, you're right. Sometimes I do get boring. Sometimes I do allow my tone to drop and to soften, and sometimes I don't. So, all right. So let's take this another route. So, why do we get in our heads feeling like, oh, poor me, oh, the world is against me, oh, there's nothing good, oh, this is boring, oh, there's nothing to do? Why do we do that? Because we're foolish, we've been brainwashed, we're a result of the conditioning of the society in which we have developed from and through and with. This society taught us, brainwashed us into believing, it took a partial truth, okay? It's one of the beautiful things about truth. It has many perspectives, many depths, many layers of interpretation and understanding. But when we take a partial truth and believe it as an absolute, man, we get so confused and brainwashed. Hey, we got a guest. I'm going to interrupt. Hello, my beautiful
Hey,
friend. God bless.
how are you?
Oh, I'm feeling blessed today, Jackie. How
I
about you?
wanted, I'm doing good. I wanted to add in with your beginning commentary that I was having the same issue last night and this morning with the negative self talk. Um, I just was, and I was just cycling myself into a puddle of crap. And I just was like, wow, Jack was doing the same thing. And I was like not motivated. I had to drive 7 hours today to Pennsylvania by myself. And I was just, I was just in a funk, but I did get out of it. But I just wanted to come on to tell you I was going through the same things. And I was, as I put here, trying my best for my little tag coming over because that's what I'm trying to do is my best. And it's not always the best.
Can I offer a disagreement? Actually, can I offer encouragement and gratitude?
Sure, you
See,
can.
hey, the thing I've been learning about us as people, um, we're here to confirm and correct each other, right? And sometimes just that validation of hearing someone else, oh shit, you're going through that too. Oh, I'm not crazy. I'm not, right? And even more than that, I wouldn't be some of the things I've been learning about is the energies of the sun and the planets and the moons, the way the moon cycles and the magnetic frequencies, they do affect how we all feel. And we're at a time right now. You know what? Humanity has probably always been at the time of development and growth, right? It makes sense. But I think we are at a time right now, unprecedented. This is interesting. Welcome, John and John's impersonator.
Hi, John. Hi, I'm Slavius.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Prayers and blessings. Thank you, brother. I recognize the voice and the frequencies. Good to see you.
Yes, you as well, Mr. Talcott.
And brother, thank you. I was listen. I saw that your channel you were waiting and you had that friggin' music going, man. I was like, I need that. That is something I'm lacking, man. You bring the flair. Fucking
Well, I'm
love that
passionate
about
about
you.
this truth so much so that now they're striking both channels every week. All the haters, fraudulent claimers, metaversal miscreants, they're out and about. The good part is I'm a long game guy and I'm getting better and better as days go on at exposing you for who and what you are, and that's great for court. So I'm just investigating and collecting more metaversal evidence of the conspiracy and confederation of dunces against one who some folks might say is a genius. That's how you would know a genius, when all the dunces are in confederation against him. But let me not belabor the point. Good to
Amen.
see you, Mr. Talcott. Let's move forward.
Amen, brother. I think the comment I brought up kind of signifies and reinforces what you're saying, but in a different aspect. And I saw or heard something that you got some strikes, and actually Snafu and I connected briefly, and I understood he went through that too. So,
Yeah,
um,
he's on channel 6 now. He sent me a text night with his deleted channel, and I saw he now is on channel number 6. So anyone who is not subscribed to Snafu Snaps, who were subscribed to Snafu Snaps number 5, now you have to search out Snafu Snaps number 6. But it's not a number; it's just Snafu
Oh
Snaps.
man.
And
Right, and
his
the
channel is
difference between
completely.
me and the rest of these folks is I'm not going away, and I'm in the room with them now. Right? Like,
hey,
when I'm in the room with them, they're in the room with me, and they don't like it as much because they know I'm not going away, and they know that I have a silver and gold tongue, and they know that I'm all too willing to put the facts of the matter on record on all sides. People don't like that. So they start to show themselves as even more powerless. You can play little games here and there to interfere and try to contain, but you cannot stop the force, right? So ultimately, again, I'm going to have fun because the universe wants me to perfect legal process. See, we all have our walk. I suspect it's all the same walk. Wants me to now check my ego because I'm lawful Paulie. Says, you got to learn that legal process and whoop them with their own game. That's how you really fuck everybody's mind and heart up. You take their shit and whoop them with it. So that's where we need to go next. So I will have all these people at court, and they will be held responsible for their false claims, and they will have to compensate for the months and years of interference with folks' communities and livelihoods. And once I do it, everyone's going to do it because that's the theme. Once they see Paulie the gorilla go out there and come back yapping harder than ever with more results, and they think it's favorable for them, they're going to pipe up just like I am.
that's one way. My mind went a different way, brother, though. Um, Two things. One, you're establishing connections. So that's a good thing. You know, in their legal department, they've got professionals who are establishing points of contact. But the other part, please, brother, sometimes we can become our own worst enemies. And I don't know. I don't know the details of your situation or what's going on, but I know that I'm just starting out. You know, even though I've been here a while, I'm starting out, and I know to be mindful that there's, yeah, it sounds like the censorship and, you know, maybe shenanigans. People are playing frisky. They're getting bold with this shit. So censorship is just simply a sign that we're losing. We're losing the battle of information. And it's through sharing of knowledge that we're going to become free.
Well, there's the battles and then there's the war, right? So we've not lost the war, so to speak, metaversally or physically. There are certain skirmishes and battles that are being won and lost constantly behind the scenes. So
Amen.
again, if these folks were so powerful, they'd have had me shut the fuck up already 2 years ago when they started this campaign, and they can't seem to get it done. Maybe not because I'm so powerful, but whatever walks with me is. So they better be worried about that because that's the only thing that commissioned them to do the teaching and testing they're doing. And I'm okay with that because, as I just said, I'm comfortable with the uncomfortable. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. And that's the mark of a wise man. And I know what the fuck I need to know to go to the next level. Hopefully,
Paul,
everyone else has the same apprehension. Go ahead, sir.
I fucking love your synchronicity. That was the thought I was thinking about right before I came on. Trying to, because here, brother, Many people judge me based off of whatever. They fucking come out of the woodwork with excuses. Um, and I get accused of being arrogant, right? But I'm confident. I'm confident because I know what I do not know, and I don't dismiss what I know. And conversely, I know what I know, and I certainly don't dismiss what I don't know. It's Paul, you and I, man. God's using us for some big things. And you're right, brother. You're blessed. They're coming out and people will oppose and people will try their best to fucking interfere, which was actually the conversation I was prepared to have with Moose today. Um well, golly, geez. We got we got the next best thing. No, I won't degrade. This
No,
man's
go
got
ahead. Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. Well,
now do you understand?
there's no, it's okay. There's nothing that'll brighten up my day, and of course yours as well. After two strikes on two channels, and
Oh
two rolled back,
man.
and another one this morning, and constant battles with legal scum.
Oh, stop. Hey,
Right? No, I'm
stop.
not. No. You didn't listen. I'm not whining. I'm
No.
laying the groundwork.
Why would I
I'm
listen to
laying
you?
the groundwork and doing everything you're not doing and can't do because your presentment is bizarre and embarrassing.
Oh,
That's
are we
why no one comes
installing
against you and
objectives?
Well,
Are we
slaves, and when they
installing
Paul,
do, you
objectives
lose
and
every
goals on
time.
people?
No, that's
How can
fine.
anyone shut you up when we're supporting a free speech nation? You're supposed to be able to look like a jackass in front of your dad and in front
Right,
of your enemies. You're
right.
allowed to do that. You're
So
free to do
why
that.
so why try to equalize if you have so much power watching
What
me
is
and my
okay? You're
embarrassment?
installing
If
intention. What
you're
am I
having
trying to
so much
equalize
power
on?
watching
Am
me
I
in my
trying to
failure,
no.
equalize
if
on
you're
skin
having
tone?
so much
On
power
beard neck?
watching me in my failure and embarrassment, why do the crying sounds only to verify you're not as secure
Because
in
you
your
sound
position
like a
as you
victim.
claim to be?
Tom,
Everyone's
please.
after you, right?
Tom,
Everyone's
Tom,
trying to shut you up. You're
Tom,
a victim.
Tom.
So I'm
Sometimes the
victiming. I'm
fact,
not saying that this is
right.
purpose and meaning and inspiration and this is what's supposed to happen. Everything is as it's supposed to be. You didn't listen
Right.
too
Hey,
well with
there's
your
No,
big
I
ears.
listen. I
oh, both
listen,
of
Listen
you.
with
and you're
those
a lot
big
like the
ears of
Bible.
yours.
Please
I'm trying to
stop.
compare you
How
to
do
the
I
Bible.
Hey, both of you, please stop. Here's something to shit. It was what you were talking about.
Oh, you got nothing either, Jack. Don't try. You can't
No,
moderate me and Paul. You can't moderate us.
no,
He
but you know what?
created you, Jack. He
I
took
can
you from
ask
5 years
There's
of
you.
no
nothing.
me and you. There's no me and you at this
I
moment, and you're
can,
not going to do reverse psychology and appeal to this idea of me and you being one so you can get back in my graces as you rebuke me. You are such a twister snake that you will literally shapeshift three different ways in 3 seconds in front of everybody and try to create power dynamics and group dynamics and try to play off each side. I'm so sick of you scum, and I see right
Paul.
through you.
He's a good example of what we are able and
And I
capable
didn't
of
create
doing
Jack,
ourselves.
okay? So you're not
I
gonna like
know. Yeah.
then you're not gonna then play down Jack's ego so he gets bubbling resentment toward me, and then you see him act out toward me and you get to laugh from the rafters. We're not gonna do that either.
Well,
Because I'm
you
not
know,
God and I didn't create Jack. Okay.
no.
The only thing I tried to facilitate was a movement in Jack's and everyone else's consciousness and beingness. And I got it done again. Because everything I set out to do, I fucking get done. Unlike you slaves.
Everything is happening with us and through us and for us. And this is what I've been learning myself, brother. This thing of faith in the higher power and that God does want good for us. That's actually a reminder I keep getting elsewhere and that I'm trying to bring forward here, okay?
Right. God wants good for us if we would fucking do good and be good. Better yet, great.
God, God wants good for us regardless. God
Okay,
is the
God wants
good.
good for us, but we're not going to get it like children unless we do what the fuck we need to do. This is what parents are supposed to teach children, like God teaches its children. We want better for you. We want to give you. We want to provide for you. Make it so damn fucking hard for us to do it and love you at the same time. You're a spoiled bitch.
I'm sure that's what God is thinking. God's like telling us, get the fuck out of your way and allow me to do the work with you. That's what God's been telling me for quite a while. Jack, sit the fuck down, shut up, right? Speak when it's
I
time
think
for
that's
me to
what
speak.
everyone's been trying to tell Jack, even God.
I think
Jack,
that you have.
sit the fuck down,
I think.
shut up.
I think. I don't
Paul, sit
think
the
because
fuck
I
down,
stopped thinking and
shut
ended
up.
my problem.
Tom,
Put the slave in the back if he needs to be put back there, or
I'll
shut his
well,
sit there as
mic.
long as you're here, Paul. I'm
Tom,
going to
Shut
sit in the
his. I'm
back
sure
stop
and
you
wait.
will
being
because you're a watcher,
disrespectful.
waiter,
Oh,
demonicator, like all of them, and you're striking the channels and everything else. Be
I'm not
gone with
striking
you.
shit, but
Power.
you in person. I'll strike
The
you in your.
likes of you. You won't do a motherfucking thing to me in person. I'll have my way with you. You know it and I know it. I'll have
yes.
my fucking way with you just like I do everyone and everything else if I get my mind down to it. My heart, better yet, because as I said, I stopped thinking, ended my problems. You can't stop being in your own head, getting in your own way.
And for the record, I don't have any resentful feelings towards Paul or his community. They're free to do what they want. I'm just here for Jack, and obviously the package deals with Paul. So, um, you know, that's
I have no
unfortunate.
problem with you,
Paul's.
John Vance. I've
It's
never
a,
had a problem with you. I've
yeah.
always been present.
Oh, I
Well,
did. I had a problem with John.
yeah.
He was, I saw him as an obnoxious fucking interrupting pain in the ass. And
Jack,
then
here's the
he
clarity
showed
to
me
the next
different.
level. That wasn't your problem. That was his
I
problem.
know.
Why'd you make it yours? See, I didn't make it mine. I just
You're
came up
right.
with a solution. His problem is he's an arrogant, egoic, ignorant, douchey, smarmy scum at times.
Well,
I guess
Right.
we all can be.
That only
I
happens
guess
once
we all can be at
I didn't
times.
agree with you, right?
But no, you didn't listen again. Get those big ears open.
well,
Get something
hey,
into
Well,
that
you weren't.
bald head. I said we all can be. The difference is there's a thread of truth running through everything that most folks are ignoring, and they want to focus on me to ignore what's happening within them. So when I point it out, I have
Okay.
to be the enemy. I'm not here to go along to get
sometimes,
along. We're here for truth.
I
There's a
just
time and place for
like
everything.
but
I just want to
sometimes you
put it for the
gotta,
record. Like, I don't really have any resentment because I don't carry resentment with me,
right.
and I just wanted to quell that because whatever
Well,
resentment
hey,
you think I might have, I don't. So
Right.
okay.
In this moment, because again, I'm pretty good at what I do, which is being all the empathic things they all say they are while saying I'm a narcissist. I
um,
can hear it and feel it and see it in you today. Whatever you're doing lately is probably working for you on some level, whether it's Ramadan, fasting. I don't know. You told us some things, but I can
yep,
hear it in your voice and see it in you. You're not here for that
yeah,
now in this
Well,
moment. Right?
yeah,
there's been a different energy. We're all growing and changing. Okay. And this is, there's something amazing that is developing, and we've all been participating in here online and elsewhere. Here's, hey, if I want to get this out because this was a point I was trying to get at before. This world has taught us to feel alone, right? And it's a bunch of bullshit. No one is ever alone, but we do create a physical reality where we end up alone. So we're only as alone when we feel separated and apart. I had this conversation with a Christian friend earlier. He said his aim is to be like Jesus, but he knows he often misses the mark or whatever. Well, if your aim is to be pure, then that means that you're separated from being pure. It means you're separated from God. You're separated from the Christ. You just must allow it. Allow yourself to be connected to others. And maybe the others is just your family right now, or maybe the others is just someone at work or someone at church, whatever. Maybe your us is small, but it can grow into more, and it is more. We're all associated with a they, right, in a greater aspect, whether it's our community, our physical heritage, the political or religious beliefs, whatever. We are a part of something. And when we feel like we're a part of something, we feel less isolation, even though it's a fucking mind game. It's all in
Now
your head.
let's look at the word. Let's look at the words, Jack, because you know me, I'm a word guy a lot of the times, not because it's about the words, it's about the meanings that the words help us understand and convey. Solidity, solitude, solace, solution, isolation, right? The root words of all this are SOL. It's light based. So the more that you go into yourself, right, and feel alone and seem alone and break down that ego construct of what this all is, and remember and refocus and reform, you can come back with a light brighter than ever, right? So you need solace, you need solitude, you need isolation. That's where you find or recreate true self. See, the problem is you got a lot of slaves out here with a lot of fake ass friends and family and a lot of distractions and not enough isolation to get back to the soul, the sun, right? That gave its life so it could live, right? So it could cultivate a servant's heart and come back with that same type of energy. What would Jesus Cristo do? Well, he would go into isolation and reform that light being, that true self within inside, and bring that back to the world and shine it on these dark motherfuckers.
So you brought me back in too soon, Jack.
Sorry. So I love that you said remember. And the other thing to add with what you were saying, you're absolutely right. I think that God allows us into the darkness so that that light within, that's the only place you can turn, right? And so once you turn to the light within and you recognize your connection to the divine, then that flame can fucking grow, man.
That's
And
when
that,
loneliness goes away. That's when
yes,
the boredom and the lonely and the alone and all the lacking of peace and clarity and or abundance, it goes away because there's no such thing. It's a false concept based on your lack of understanding. There is no such thing as division in a universe. Una means one. You're in it, not on it. So you're part of it. Just like cells in a body politic, there's white blood cells and red blood cells. Dis-ease happens, white blood cells get activated. Hello? It's called a hologram. I am a white gorilla blood cell. I've been activated to stop the dis-ease.
amen. We're here to rid the world of the darkness and of the dis-ease of distruth, untruth, fiction. We're here to expose the fucking
Corruption of the
lies.
body politic is what it is. The body politic has been toxified and corrupted. And many of us have now been called forth and activated like white blood cells to balance out that internal universal principle. So it's a
Amen.
balancing of the books. It has to happen. If not, disease and toxicity will take the body politic and it will cease to exist.
Amen. You said something else. Damn it, my mind drifted from what you were just saying. Shoot. Being part of. That's the point I wanted to get across too. Just our mere existence. Just our mere existence today. We are part of history. And if we're part of history, that means we are tied to everything from the past. And we will always be eternally connected to everything in the future. just because we perceive ourselves as being. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, but then you have to come into alignment with that. I'll accept that characterization. It's very airy fairy, but you like to do that, and I'll work with that. You know, I like pushing the boundaries and coming to clarity with our confusion. So we have to come into alignment. If you want to say that the future and past is a pipeline, yeah, there's a fate and a destiny, and it's based on orientation. We have to come into alignment, right? Like that conduit for that past and future to flow through into our destiny. If not, we are in misalignment and we will be faded into a system. System in Latin is a sewer. Okay. So we're not in alignment, we're misaligned, and that's why that pipeline is straight into a system sewer. Okay, because we've not aligned where we need to be to flow past and future into destiny. So now we have to love our fate or change it by changing ourselves.
Yes. And that is what I've learned is the key. Well, I love where you're going with this too about the flow, because it comes down to the energies. Look at the experience as energies and the state of experience as energies, and it's a flow. And we can either resist and fight the moments, the past, the future, the now. We can resist that and fight it, or we can, I use the word surrender. I surrender to the moment, surrender to that which is, and then, man, then I feel whole.
I accept that, but I go back to, for John Vance's purposes, the Muslim proverb kind of, trust in God, but tie up your camel. So the same way I'll make a second and third iteration of my beingness and channeling, if you will, as a short-term stratagem to avoid lack of preparation that leads to results. Ultimately, yes, I'm in a space of surrender. You can't make enough channels. You can't fight hard enough. You can't win often enough to stop the dynamic at play. There's an individual judgment and then there's a collective judgment. So again, I will be fated regardless of the destiny I've chosen for myself. I will be fated to a collective destiny or fate with everyone else who's chosen lesser for themselves and others. I don't see any cause and effect way around that, and I don't think there's supposed to be. We rise to the occasion or we fail. When we want to do we games, right? I rose to the occasion, I continue to daily, and I succeed inside myself first. Other folks are not doing that, so we will fail. Doesn't matter how much I succeed, because we're not alone in this walk.
Amen. We're we are all destined together, but I've I'm truly becoming more confident. I believe that, in the when it comes down to it, every day it's happening, but in the end, we're going to be judged by what have we done with what we had. I know I wasted a lot, and I overlooked even more, but I simplified my own life by choosing what I wanted to pay attention to. And what I want to pay attention to is now and whatever the future might bring, man. And honestly, Paul, these are the words I was saying. I don't know if you heard earlier, but I had to walk myself past my disbelief this morning. I had to kind of strengthen my own fortitude a little bit. But later, I was also contemplating the reality. Folks, please do the subscribe thing because this is growing. Um, we are part of something big. And so I believe, Paul, I believe the destiny for myself and probably you and many others I know. God wants our lives to improve, and we're doing the work. We're putting ourselves out there. We are, and we have. We've been placed on experiences that others can learn from. And I believe, brother, in the future there's going to be abundance and influence that I had never dreamed of in my life. But I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. I don't care what the future brings to me because it's been such an adventure so far. You know,
Well, you
I've
might find out, like I found out, it might be more advantageous to all of us to tell folks do the unsubscribe thing. Or disempowered slaves that get wind of folks doing anything they're not doing that gets them triggered, they might try to shut it down. But I guess that's part of the fun, right? So I don't tell folks, I guess, subscribe or unsubscribe. I just let it be what it will be at this point, right? Because I mean, again, you got to kind of find the gentle or delicate balance between improving and improving, if you will, right? It's a journey more than it is a destination. And I have to remind myself of that daily, especially in times when they test me, right? That's what the test is for, also, right? It's a regrounding, refocusing, reuniting, resolving experience. We all need checking sometimes in different ways. We all need testing sometime in different ways. Not too many men or women on here can check me and test me, but Shaitan can better than anybody. I thank him for it. Thank you. I remember.
well, Paul, that kind of I resonate with everything you say, brother. Amen. We get tested, and there's people coming out. There are people testing themselves and each other all around us. You know, the energies are changing. People are dealing with their shit. Um, but the thought I was thinking earlier too was the humbling part. All right, so praise God. I'm part of all that was, all that will ever be, and I'm part of all that is right now. So praise God. You know, thank you. And shit, I started talking for a reason.
Jack, you got nothing. All right, let's go to Illumitami. Spice things up a little bit. Why not? For old time's sake.
Hey man,
It sounds
Tommy,
kind
you
of
there?
obsessive. So I am definitely alone, Jack, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You can be on your deathbeds with your son beside you, your family surrounding you. You are alone, and that's not a bad thing. Uh, I heard a lot of lone video talks from Paul sitting alone in his car, talking about he can do this alone. And I also see Paul saying, "What's the deal? Why is nobody coming up on my panel? Where are you people at?" So it's all hypocrisy. It's all
No,
contradiction.
it's not.
I
It's
sat
not
here. I sat here and
hypocrisy.
watched
It's
Moose.
not.
I sat here and
It's
watched
not.
Moose say he
Okay.
dropped
Okay.
out of
Now
college.
he
Hey,
attacked
sir, I'm
again. Turn
talking,
him
sir.
down
You
for a
had your
second so that I can
breathless
rebut
line.
just for a second. Then we'll turn him back
Yeah.
up.
No,
So
it's
just for
always
the gut.
just for a
It's
second.
not
But the
Bob,
big
hypocrisy.
thing
So you
is,
didn't listen. So you didn't listen when I just laid out that there is an individual judgment and collective judgment. So it doesn't matter how much I can do my walk and my journey standing tall and walking
so this
alone.
is the
Or
ego right here. This is the ego where I can't go on any show and just talk my experience without a white gorilla showing up telling me it's all about him. Like
that's
it's
not
not about
true. That's not true. Well, maybe it's true from your perspective, but golly gee, see, I'm
I
going to
don't
use
understand. I don't understand. Why does somebody who's done nothing, been nothing, nobody wants to be like or live like? No, don't do that, Jack. You distract me. You can answer to it, but you're distracting me. Why would anyone, from my perspective, I'll qualify it, who nobody want to present like, think like, feel like, live like, be like, have like, you know, what makes him think he's going to come on and be so credible that when the white gorilla comes in, it's not going to become about me, just off the strength of who I am and what I represent and stand for? It's always going to become about me when I show up in a room with folks like you. You're mad about that, I know. Just get better and it won't happen as much.
Paul, there's some truth to that. And I'm not defending or intervening, but something I've
No,
been
if
learning
we
for
went before the
myself.
devil right now or God, let's be real with the simulation. We go before the devil or God. Is both sides not going to respect me more than Illumitami, whether they like me or not? Cut it the fuck out. If you have any kind of self-actualization and realization and awareness, this is not ego. Be serious with yourself.
But
And then put me up against next to 95% of folks on here and say, what is God or the devil as an archetype going to think and say and respect when they look at both? It's
Paul,
clear and present.
well, God will see the one. God would see the one that is and see no separation and would have unconditional love for all. So
Yeah, but
even
would
the
it be unconditional trust and respect? No. It would say, I love all my children equally, but Paulie Boy's got the keys to the house. Fuck yourself. What doesn't everyone get?
well, okay, all right, fair enough. I mean, here,
Given the
let me.
choice of all the fucking low-level options we have on this metaverse and in life, it would seem I'm governed by my inferiors most places, is what it, like Plato said. So we come in front of the God or the devil. Even a devil, right, would respect me because they'd say, Paul, you know the code of God. You know what we're here to play as a part. Will you play the part? And it'll respect if I say yes or no because it knows I'm going to do what I say. If I say yes, I'm going to play my part and do it unemotionally, right? If I say no, it's going to respect me again. See, you folks want to play with the devil and then save your own ass. You want to play with God and save your own ass. I play my position. And that's why I'm
Position is
respected by
lost in your own
all
thoughts
people in
at
all
this
arenas.
There's a different way to play the game that I've been playing myself. I'm just an instrument, and each day God leads me to where I go. I discover what I say. I discover what I learn each day. That's what I mean. I think I think with the investments I've made and some of the steps I've taken for the brand of Live Without Fear, I think everything is prepared to really launch that message, and with it, me. And so all I
But I
care
think
about,
I think
though,
Paul ruined that
no,
because
God,
no,
no.
listen, Jack, listen, they were right. I wasn't even on the panel when they were here talking about if anyone searches your name in the future, you're gonna pop up as more Paul enslaved than as
Could you
Jack
turn them
Talcott.
down for a second so we could rebut this disempowerment campaign? Because this is all Shaitan is about, is
When
kill,
is your
steal.
second
Can we
over?
just
Like
turn
every
him
time
down?
I get a
Because
Hold
sentence
on.
my
out, it's not
segment
my
is
Paul,
never
turn.
Tom,
over till they
Tom,
put me in a
let
box
him,
or kill me. What didn't you hear? The
he's
segment's never over. He can just
he's
throw me
he's
out or
muted.
not.
Paul, he's muted.
Is he?
Please, Tom.
No, please, Jack. You used to say this was a place I could come to square
Right.
up with the
Oh,
issues we
wow.
have.
No,
We're
not to
victiming now.
square up,
Remember when
not
he
to
said,
square up,
wow,
but
wow, wow, about me
Right,
and
right,
spiritual
right.
purpose?
So remember
Now
when
it's
we
Paul
can.
Jack.
said,
I thought this was a
No,
place I could
remember
come
when
to act
Paul
like a
said,
fool and be enabled. No, it's
no,
not.
remember when
that's
Paul
not what he
said,
said.
no, I mean fill in the blank. My whole
If
game with
I could
Paul
destroy
is I
Jack Talcott is
say
not being used by
to
God.
so
I'm
much.
not that
Right,
powerful.
right,
I'm not
and
that powerful. It doesn't matter what you
no,
I
search
don't
on
know what
Google
this guy
today.
here,
is ranting
both of
about.
Put
you,
him in the fucking back so I can
both,
talk to you, Jack, please.
both of you,
Because I'm
please.
gonna like speak life into you. I'm not gonna speak this
Well,
fucking death
hold
worship
on,
into you today. Not gonna do
Paul.
it today.
Paul, here's something that I know. When we can find gratitude for those who irritate us, we have a better understanding of why God brought them into our
I
lives.
just told you I'm thankful. I'm about to show you because every
Okay,
time they
please
talk,
let
I
me
get
be
a
quiet.
teachable moment to love again and to
You're right.
remind us of truth. If
You're
I
right.
was so powerful and Jack was so disempowered that whatever I put on the internet would be his lasting legacy, he would not be walking in the way. That's like
Mhm.
going to the Christed being and saying, Judas or someone else, if you think I'm evil against him and not united with him in some purpose, right? Oh, Judas is going to post pictures on the trees and he's going to destroy your legacy. He'd fucking laugh at you. He'd laugh at you and go on his way, you fool. That's not how this game works. You're defined by your thoughts, emotions, and actions. So if Jack is and is becoming and doing what he needs to do, whatever he does will outshine anything I and others and even he has said in the past. Okay, it's called redemption and repentance and reformation. Learn it, infidel scum. Do not blame me for why Jack and others may choose to remain where they're at. I'm not saying he will. If he does, he knows, like I know, it is not my or anyone else's fault. Just like I can't blame YouTube or anyone else for where I go from here. A man is defined by how he responds to conflict and controversy, not whether he is taken down by it. Then he's definitely defined. Oh, you're a punk ass coward. They threw a little test at you, you folded, and you let Paulie Boy write your whole story or whoever else. That's not how this works. This is a long game, unsuccessful slave with no legacy. You don't get it.
Hey, Paul, you brought up another synchronicity with me. One of the benefits of not being the homeowner is I had I had the property manager come and they sent someone to help repair my sink for me today. So Kevin and I, while he was fixing the sink for me, we were talking about faith and the way and humility, but repentance. What you were just saying, man. People, it is time for people to start repenting from their past ways. It's time for people to start making a choice. You know, we're here to serve. So who are we serving? What is it we're going to serve? What is the purpose of our service? Because, brother, the news today, I got someone else we've got Tommy still in the back, and I got someone else in the back. It appears trying to be entertaining. I mean, what?
Okay, you know what? You know what? Okay, I'm thankful and grateful for this metaversal miscreant as well, because he at least has some material. Whoever this is, he's got a backdrop. He's got a little outfit. It's better than most of the half-hearted, half-ass slaves. So I applaud that. Whoever's doing that, or whoever that is, if that's a screen and someone's playing video, or if that's an actual man in front of the camera, I applaud that, sir. I don't know where we go with it, right? Other than us sit here and make it into something now. It just kind of goes nowhere. So it's very short doses kind of material, right?
Thank you for the appearance, the holy appearance there. I guess we can go with that. It was peaceful. I mean, there's always peace in the silence.
Was he staying muted, or did you have him muted?
I made no change. So
is he still there?
No.
If he comes back, bring him up and see if by chance you can unmute him, because I don't see why it would play that and not have audio with it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Maybe there was some audio that was missed, but I was a little apprehensive
because the slaves, will clutch for any little short-term momentary power they can get. So they'll come up and do like miscreant type videos, deviant type videos where they show, the deal. Because they're on me now lately. So, they have to.
They're actually, that's my whole thing I want to get into, is this idea that you're some entity that all these peons are coming for when
absolutely, I'm the one. Absolutely, that's the case. I have dozens of interactions on record where they've taken me off, taken my freedom, rights, property, and my body off to a chamber, and I'd have to go to war with them physically to stop it, which I'm not here to do.
But you're all over the place with the standard we're on. Like, 1 minute it's my personal monetary success under attack. 1 minute you're trying to tell me I'm a failed channel with no videos when I've never.
Tom, so we're gonna keep doing this me and you thing the whole time.
No. I'm trying to get it away from me.
Yeah. You're constantly trying to create this you and me dynamic. You do it.
Let me give you an example.
When I show up, you even get triggered and go, "Why are you there?"
I have yet to make a case without getting backstaged or interrupted. Yet you'll sit here and say, "Excuse me, sir, I'm talking, sir."
Because you don't make any sense to pretty much anyone.
No, I want to make sense, but you keep moving the goalpost of what subject we're talking about.
No,
That's
there is no goalpost. You keep making it all about me and picking various aspects of me to try to tear down because you're in fucking
Are you
secure.
talking about my situation with you?
okay. I'm going to interrupt this because this is not what
Okay,
I
can we have
wanted.
5 more minutes of him? Let's just see where it goes, Jack. Are you willing
All
to
right,
entertain?
brother. All
Five
right.
minutes to
Thank
see
All
you,
where he
right.
goes.
Paul.
So let's
Thank
go.
you,
Let's
Paul.
go
Now
somewhere.
that feels like old times, Paul.
Right
That
there.
feels
Okay,
like
so
old
now,
times.
okay, now can we break that down? Every time you say that often. It feels like old times. It means you're
No, you
longing.
just said it feels like old times, and I
Tom,
agree.
the more, okay, Tom, let me help you out. I want you to be up here longer. The more you let the white gorilla ramble and get in where you fit in, the longer you stay. But if you interrupt the flow and no one can understand any of us, you got to go. Because I'm more
It's
valuable in this
Here.
realm than you are. That's been deemed by the people in Talcott and others. I don't know if you read the room, but I'm deemed more valuable by pretty much everyone. So I didn't do that. It's been done. So do you want to change that with your presentment and your ways? Or do you want to keep fighting that and rebuking that and resisting that, ensuring it will persist?
I would like let's see,
Please, I
because
encourage you, Tom. Sorry to interrupt. I encourage you to present a case. If that was your hope, if you feel the need, if there's a case that could be resolved. I mean, I just don't want this to go back and forth into this. You did this. I think that. Whatever. Makes sense?
well, that question alone that makes sense. I go from panel to panel, Jack. I go to
Okay. The
streets
point
these
was
streets don't know about.
right,
And that's what
Tom.
I'm
The
trying to
point
tell
was
Paul. Like, do you think it's really just about me and you? Whenever yesterday I was on OTW, I was a bundle of sticks Jew on OTW's panel, and then they kicked me, brought on a trans woman, and they're respectable with the trans woman as opposed to the bundle of sticks Jew. Um, tell
Tom,
me what makes
you're
sense. Either of you,
grasping,
tell me
you're
what makes sense.
grasping for
Right.
power with political identities and then
False.
trying to
What
unite with
power do
me.
I want? What power do I
You
desire?
want the
who
power to
knows?
be you want the power to be seen and heard and not removed while remaining a non-credible, which is
But I'm
Bingo.
not I'm
absurd.
not even showing on my camera. Why do I want to be seen and heard?
Well, but Tom, hold
Oh
on.
God,
Here,
you
for
want
the
your
love of Pete,
likeness.
for the love of Pete, Tom, I don't think you have clarity in why you're spending time trying to create a record or clear a record. I don't understand, but there's something something that keeps you coming back to me and to Paul and to others. So, can you be grateful? Can you recognize the benefit of what has been shared with you?
Oh, and great
And,
point, Jack. Can you identify the reason, like I asked folks many
oh,
times,
yeah.
why you find your way back? I mean, Jack at times has given me one answer. He's been honest enough to say, I don't even maybe know what's real. Okay, I can work with that. You know, he may not know. None of us may know. You may not know. But,
So
don't give me the self righteous, overly pious
so
answer
there's
that you tend to give when folks ask why you're constantly everywhere talking about me and making cases of you versus me, when on presentment alone, you're never going to win the battle.
so that sounds like you're projecting from last night when you're talking about me while you, what is it, Joe Cool's white woman extravaganza? Like you were bringing my name up while
No,
doing
I didn't
a
bring your name up.
racially
I brought
charged
your character
stream
up
of.
because on the world stage and on the metaverse, you've become a memed character, like everyone has in a sense. And your
See, this is where
presentment
you're
and being this
mistaken.
lends
This is
you to become an adjective. So folks say, don't
this is where
Illuminati
you
this. Don't Illuminati this. So
this is
you
where
did
you
that again. You made your presentment so non-credible.
this
You're
is
used
where
now as a meme.
the
I'm not talking about
uh,
you. I'm talking
the
about your character on
the
record.
All right.
is what I'm saying is when he
Good.
says around this metaverse that I'm a meme and that you Illuminati this, Jack, I'm looking for a witness, someone that can stand with me against this metaverse and show that my character has been disrupted, that my personal image has been taken and drugged through the streets, drugged through the mud, all for like me to lose jobs, for me to lose income. And I just need one person that can vouch for
You
that.
don't work, you don't have a career, you don't have a trade, you have no history of it. You've even said it yourself. You're a drug user who's proud of it. And we destroyed your image. You said you were proud of fucking a 17-year-old who was drunk. We ruined your image. Cut it out, you victimhood slave. You're just like all the citizen slaves who blame everyone else for why they're taken as non-credible for what comes out of their own fucking mouth and what's written on their paperwork.
Now, see, Jack, this
I'm
is
gonna
this is what
hold
you're
on,
looking for.
Tom. Tom, hold
I
on.
want to
I'm
respond to
gonna.
that, Jack. That was my name being drugged through the mud, drugged
I
through the
want to
streets. I need to
No, that
respond to
was
that.
your
intermediate.
words on record being put in your face, what my
Yes.
father and others don't like when they want to pretend to be good, but be on record out of their own mouth, being reprobate, worldly infidel slaves.
Well, here, let me present something. Golly geez.
Jack, why do I get put backstage for far less than that? Are you
Because
like
you're
at the
not
Because
whim of this
valued
man?
here.
Does
I
he
already
have
because of the
told you,
something?
you're not
patterns.
valued here. You're not valued
Well,
here. How many times you want to be told in a nice, tell him in a nice way, Jack, the way you like to do,
Don't
completely
you?
different
Why
from
don't
me.
you tell
Tell him
things
in
in
a
a
nice,
nice way?
polite, kind way. He's not fucking valued here.
Why don't you tell me in a nice way, Paul? That's where I
well,
would find
Tom,
value is if
Tom,
you could tell me in
I
a
wait,
nice
spent the
way.
Tom,
first 2 months
wait,
trying to tell
both
you in a
of
nice
you.
way how to be a better version of you
Yep.
because you suck to everyone.
Well, there's a place for everyone, and everyone is growing. Now, Tom, the facts, the facts that have been
Careful with
presented
that
to
F
me.
word. Careful.
Well, here's the
We're on a
thing.
globe, Jack. We are on a globe that's
Hey,
Right.
spinning
Tom,
and rotating a
Modification away
fiery
from
ball.
the system to your personal
here's
accountability, right?
here's what I know for a fact. Our egos, they resist facts because the facts contain the truth. So,
All right, but
Tom,
let's stop
the
before we get
fact,
derailed. I need to ask you something, Jack. There was
okay,
this there was a situation where Brian O'Shea is mad at Paul, and Paul says it's, hey, did Vance come back? Is that John Vance?
no. Is there any
Oh, why is
relevance to
his picture
today?
John Vance? That's not
What
John
can
Vance.
you
It's weird.
finish your thought? I'm trying to
Okay,
understand
so
the
yeah, there
relevance.
was a situation, and you know my system for when I actually watch some people, Jack. You've heard me tell you that I let Sky Daddy throw it in my
All
recommendations, and
right.
I'll give
Yep.
it a couple minutes.
Yep.
So there
So,
was a situation. Well, I don't want to come off as obsessed. I do not watch
gotcha.
that
No,
Gotcha.
you
place.
just
Right.
want to
You
come off
happen
as
to catch
arrogant and
something.
egoic and grandiose as if you have some system when you're in complete
Oh my
madness with no
God.
Jack,
method.
Jack, I'm not going to ask for an arm and a leg. Could you just put that guy backstage for a second so I can talk about this?
Well, I don't know the
I didn't
point
leave,
you're
Jack.
trying to
It's not
make.
going to hurt him to sit backstage like
He's muted.
the
Finish your point, please.
Okay, so he's in this situation with Brian O'Shea where he's telling Brian O'Shea all
Am
he's doing is,
I?
Yes.
Jack, I'm not going to be able to get this out,
Please
man.
finish.
Don't say please finish, say please quit interrupting so I can finish. You're being biased.
Fair enough. Please stop interrupting so Tom may finish a
I'm
point.
sorry for interrupting. I'll stop interrupting. Now, I see this situation where Paul is telling O'Shea that he's just triggered at Paul comparing their similarities. And I'm trying to remember which panel I was on where I was saying, tell me I'm not being a Paul enslaved right now as I compared their similarities. And he raged harder
Okay.
than he's raging here.
Okay. So you want to compare facts? I
No,
mean,
no,
so
no.
what?
I'd like
Tom,
to
you know
discern
what,
for the
Tom?
community the difference
Tom,
between
Tom,
facts
I
and
love
opinion.
you. I love you. I'm moving on. There
Jack,
was
I believe you are having a rough day, my friend.
no, you know what? You're actually you're muted here, and you're going to be given just
All
maybe
right,
less
have a good
time
day.
than Tom was. That's probably a good choice for you. I don't know if it was technology or choice that had you leave, but you're welcome to leave, Moose. Um, golly geez. This life is becoming fun, Paul, if you're still there. Um, Tom, I don't know what you were trying to prove, and I don't think you know what you were trying to prove. I think you're just trying to prove yourself. But you stop having to prove yourself when you know. So it's only because of your disbelief that you're spending so much time and energy trying to present what you know. I used to do the same thing, but guess what? This is my channel, Tommy.
All right, what was it, Jack? You said I have to take my lickings or something? Something's wrong.
No, tell you what, when you actually go back and receive the words that I took the time to share with you in many different venues, most recently in the
Is there
email,
something wrong with living with purpose? I think the brand is amazing.
go fucking invest in it and go build it yourself then, jackass. Do what you want without me. These
All right,
fucking clowns, man.
can we let Moose kind of express a bit, because they do kind of, they love to hate him, right? And he's a triggering force, so let's use him for what he's good for. Go ahead, Moose. We enjoy the constant testing and challenging, and sometimes
Mm,
interference. And okay, Jack's
enjoy.
not feeling it
Mm,
that much in this moment, but we're gonna try to get him there.
I just don't
Uh,
understand why he's so upset with me. Like, I just came into the room and he's already angry.
find the connection. Is that enough time for him? Seriously, I'm Paul. Here's what I see about Moose. He didn't show you respect, and now he's coming to me, and I gave him, even though I knew of his past behavior. Paul's busy. Um, hey, even though I knew of Moose's past behavior, I still trusted the new day and allowed him an opportunity. Yes, Freedom Grower, I thought I offered that opportunity to Moose, but he thinks I'm some sort of fucking joke. And I'm not a joke. And this Live Without Fear is not a joke. And I've invested quite a bit of money, quite a bit of time, quite a bit of energy into preparing the world to learn of Live Without Fear through me. So if you think you found a purpose, Moose, of living with purpose, good for you.
Jack, I don't understand why you're taking this as a personal attack. I'm not trying to take away your branding. I'm trying to help you produce something that is actually going to reach people.
Right, right. I know you think that's you. I know
No,
you
dude,
think
if
you're
your brand
doing
was great
something.
5 years, you would be in skyrocketing right now.
Is
Look
that
at what
right?
Mr.
Is that
Unslavious has done.
right?
He
Oh,
spent one
okay.
year and he's
Oh, is that
skyrocketing.
it? Hey, Moose, fuck you, man. Kiss my ass. I am so sick and tired, Paul, of people coming out of the woodwork thinking they can disrespect me, thinking they know better than me because they just fucking met me and because I showed them a little kindness. I I sought deeply and found gratitude for my experience of meeting Moose and Tom and many others. Praise be, man. God is testing us. But I know when to walk away. I know when people show themselves to be a waste of my time. And Moose has repeatedly disrespected you, Paul. He's repeatedly disrespected me. And as a result of that, he has repeatedly disrespected himself and his family, as far as I'm concerned. And if a man can't respect himself enough to show respect to others who have shown him kindness, you know, when I look at the world today, sometimes, Paul, I just want to fucking cry. It's shameful.
Well, I get that, but again, this is where the temperance comes in, comfortable with the uncomfortable, right? I'd be hypocritical if I didn't promote the same thing I was promoting for myself, for him. He has to be free to come up and challenge you and myself and anyone on all levels, is willing, as long as he's willing to receive the same back for us all to be better. So if he has something he's saying about the brand or whatever, maybe he has a point and it's triggering you. Maybe he doesn't have a point, in which case there's no reason to feel any way about it.
Well,
So
the other part to that is you're right. Maybe he's got a point to it. Maybe he doesn't. But you know what? The asshole hasn't even had a conversation with me about what we've discussed, about where I hope and what I've done, what I have not done with what I've invested with. You, Paul, you've made this mistake as well, and he's following your lead on this one. You guys want to judge me and claim that I'm failing because of the temporary results? I'm telling you guys.
right, that's the thing. You don't have to tell anybody, just like I don't, Jack. I mean, we have the experience. We get up in our feelers like I
Well,
did this morning, and then I move through it and I say ultimately we can't talk surrender without living it. We can't talk faith without letting him challenge live without fear. If he wants to
no,
challenge
here,
live without,
if he wants to
I'm
challenge live
speaking
without
life into
fear,
you. I'm speaking life into you. The
but
UN
you're,
might say to you, the UN, I'm training for the big
oh,
leagues here with you, Jack. I'm
you're
not here
missing
to
the
fuck
point.
around with the little pee wee leagues. So if
Right,
you
me either.
consider Moose pee wee leagues, well, let's get the ego going then if we need it. We're training for the big leagues. So the UN might say, who's this Paul Unslaved Gorilla and who's Jack Live Without Fear? We got the documents on both of them and we don't believe them. You gonna let them convince us we don't know who and what we are and what the fuck we're doing? Because we let them get us triggered and we trick ourselves out of position? That's for them to do, not us. We say,
No,
you're right, motherfucker. I spent all this money on Live Without Fear when I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do. That shows how much I must have believed in myself and that brand. And yeah, it didn't go nowhere for a while till my ass got in gear more and I learned more and I became that brand. So there's nothing wrong about writing a story where there's ups and downs. It's a great story where there's challenges and thrills and chills. In the end's going to tell the tale. If you know and have faith, then it doesn't matter what these motherfuckers have to say and question. That's where I'm sitting.
well, here's the thing, Paul. I know God has blessed me and I have blessings to share. The blessings I offer are through the wisdom of my experience, just like you, Paul. But I know that when my time is not spent here, my time is spent in the bliss of solitude, in pleasure, in fulfillment, in joy, in growth. So my time is better spent away from asshats who don't respect our time, Paul. And so, actually, you know what? There's chats in the back here. Maybe there's an opportunity for a show here. Welcome back, Moose and Tommy.
Hello. It was weird I ever left. I didn't have any control over that.
That was my choice. I
And it's your
appreciate your
show.
patience.
And today I'm full of that. You got to pick your. You
I
don't run
see
a
that.
race after the Golden Corral. You know, you don't go to Golden Corral then run the marathon.
Amen. Moose, you had something to explain?
Hey, Jack, can I just start this out? Like, please let me have my 3 minutes to speak. I know you're angry right now. I see it on your face. I think that you're taking this the wrong way. You're taking this the
Of
wrong way.
course.
I
Of course.
literally no, you're painting me in a bad light when literally you asked me to help you and then we haven't talked about it because I was at the airport. So, and you went live. So how can we
Oh, now
talk
it's
about
the
it when
airport?
you're live? Like you're live right now, we can't talk about it. So I'm here talking about it. So I said, living with purpose is it's a good motto. It's not a bad motto. It doesn't mean it's better than yours. I just think that if you want to teach people to live with their purpose and follow like the spirit and stuff, it goes with your message.
Can I interject on that just on a grammar sense of something I just noticed? Like the way Moose has living, like ing, I like that compared to live with, because live with, I get like a somebody telling me what to do context. And living, it's like, oh, he's doing that. I could observe it and maybe take that up. So maybe living without fear is better than
And
live
I
without
don't
fear.
expect you to drop your brand or whatever. So I'm sorry you took it like that. That's
No,
not
let's
my
add the
intention.
We've
ing.
already
There's a
discussed
whole
it.
bank
We've
that
already
is just
discussed this.
ing by itself.
The brand is not the man. Okay, so the man is going to make the brand or not. And at
Right,
the
but
end of the
a
day,
man is going
you
to
can
accept
take
the
live
brand
without
or not.
fear and
And
do
I don't
whatever.
accept being told what
Right.
to do.
This is what I love, Tom. You get brought back on. I shut the fuck up and let you ramble. I interject and you talk the fuck over me. That's why you
No,
sucked on
I
my
have yet to
broadcast
get
and
on
you
my
suck.
own.
You're doing it now. You're
You're
doing it again
spiraling, my friend.
now.
Tom,
You're
That's why
spiraling,
you
my friend.
Tom,
sucked on my
stop
broadcast and you
engaging
sucked on
and
every broadcast.
allow
Who was
respect.
engaged, Jack? I'm confused at this point. You brought me up. I
Okay,
said a
stop.
thing.
Stop speaking, please. You did
Yes,
interrupt.
sir. Sorry, Moose. I wanted to apologize for that thing. I don't think we're going to get to it.
Selfish motherfuckers.
Selfish.
Yep,
Me?
yep.
I'm
Hey, Paul, I'm ready to wrap up. Um, these people, for those who are watching who paid attention, maybe you don't know all the characters. This mockery of me living with purpose is a man who has no clear purpose, but thinks thinks he provides entertainment, but he really doesn't. He's entertaining himself. He mentioned that we haven't had a chance to talk. Right. I sent him an email after the disrespect I received online yesterday. Maybe wasn't intended, but it's what I chose to see. And so I addressed it, offered yet another opportunity for a conversation. I don't know that Moose has ever called me by phone, and he's got me blocked in Messenger. And so his excuse to my email was, I spent 11 hours online doing what I do. Yeah, you fucking selfish pig. You spent 11 hours wasting your time online yesterday, ignoring your wife, ignoring your family, telling yourself how good you fucking are, probably going around to other platforms saying how bad everyone else is, like a little gossiping bitch, Moose. Ooh, man, see, here's Jack coming out. That's not the Christ. That's Jack. But see, Paul, this is what I've been figuring out. God allows us to be ourselves, but we get to choose what we are. And for a long time, I chose, I'm going to be more Christ like, right? That was the goal. And I tried for perfection, Paul. I did. Went completely free of every impurity, dedicated meditation, and just complete prayer for days. And maybe I could have gone longer. Of course I could have, but doesn't matter. Everyone else, man, everyone else has criticisms and advice and all sorts of bullshit. So that's when I decided, Paul, doesn't matter what I do. It's never good enough for others, so it just has to be good enough for me.
Right. That's where
And
conscience comes in. I'm not going to let 2,000, 1,000, 100, 10, 1. I don't care. My daddy. I'm not going to let these folks turn me into their version of me. They've been doing that all my life, and I listened at least part of the way, and I never had any good results. Either way, I get challenges, but I like being me authentically and getting these kind of challenges being me than getting the challenges I was getting being their version of me, if
Fuck
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yes, I
So
think I
it all
understand.
becomes, yeah, it all becomes within me at that point, right? So these are challenges that we're all seeing and feeling and facing. And these are the times when the test comes and the division comes where we are defined, right? How are we going to respond to that? See, they like to talk day to day. Oh, Paul, he's yelling here, he's yelling there. Right. I'm communicating an idea a certain way and you don't like it. Then when they strike the channel, everything else, Paul, he's crying and victiming. No, I'm communicating an idea again. Every step of the way, right? Authentically being me, speaking and living on truth, being challenged and tested along with everyone else on this journey while they question and doubt and their confusion and fear and try to mislabel and misrepresent. Okay, we're not here for white gorilla. We're not here for cursing. We're not here for reefer. And we're not here for the yelling and all the rest of it. But they want to focus on that because I do it. They don't want to focus on everything else they're not doing that I am doing and trying to achieve within myself first. Self-mastery, self-actualization, and self-realization. They don't really want that, it seems. So
Well,
you may want that, and you may know you need it, more importantly. Right. So I know the same, and Jennifer and many others around us seem to know the same, that even if we want it or not, we know we need it because this ain't working. Right. Our ways are not working. Haven't been for a long fucking time.
well, and that's why, Paul, I don't know what to do. Honestly, from where I'm at, I don't know what to do because I know how I feel. I know what I've learned. I know what I can imagine and envision. And honestly, if I'm right, then this is what Jesus was talking about, the kingdom of heaven. The way I feel, man, it's fucking amazing. And that's what tells me I'm not on the wrong path. If I was on the wrong path, if I was not on my path, I wouldn't sleep as well at night. I'd be restless, uneasy, but because that's how I used to live. But I'm not in denial now. I know this. I know, well, I could be ignorant. There's there could be something right in front of my face that I'm missing, but I don't know what it is. And Paul, I don't think it's me and you who are wrong. I mean, we are wrong in some of the things we may say or react with people, but we're not wrong in the words, in the meanings and messages that are being offered about fucking wake up, people. This is our lifetime. We've got to wake up.
Right. But I don't tell people wake up without, in some senses, leading from the front. So this is where I
I'm
disconnect from most folks is that I go, listen, it's easy to tell folks like they are down there. Paulie's numbers drop because he turned into this person, right? And they don't get it. Come on here, live how I live, do what I do, experience the tests, and then show me your result. Easy to tell me about what I should be and continue to be and not change and grow and not experience different aspects of self to learn more, right? Easy to tell me in this moment or in each moment you've seen along this journey who and what I should be responding to the conflicts you won't stand up to. It's laughable.
well,
Okay. I don't tell people what they should or shouldn't do when they're on the battlefield, experiencing the tests and the challenges and the consequences while they're sitting on the sidelines with no face to show, no voice to hear, and no results on record. Very easy. So I don't give a fuck if all the numbers leave at the end of the day, because the Christed Spirit stands tall and walks alone, and its purpose is not dependent upon being liked or disliked, subscribed or unsubscribed, and being told what to do and be by folks who are not living in the game. They're a cat pet slave already, and that's why they get so upset when I paint with a broad brush, because it happens to be true for the whole lot of them, the majority of
well,
them.
please, before I, I'm interrupting, but I wanted to respond to what you said. But before I do, Tom, you're still in the chat. I'm still in the back, and I see the messages. I'm just want you to know, thank you for your patience, but at this time, I have no intentions of bringing you back up, not on this stream. So,
Can we have the world of the unreal up here along with someone named Daddy and the others? There's a gang of haters down there. They say that I'm wrong or that I need to concede to some facts and that they have the reason why my subscribers are dropping and they apparently want to help me. So now's the time to come up, address the facts of the matter on record of who and what I am and what I need to change to get all the subscribers you don't have that you say are leaving me, to get all the results you say I don't have that are on record that you won't observe, right? So, again, I could point to one thing, and for me, I'm over the moon about it. Maybe that's my high level of thought of what achievement is because I have such a low standard and low self-worth, like the majority of slaves for most of my life. So, hey, if they just took a bunch of guns and ammo and body armor and told me I'd never get it back till I went to court and I didn't, and then it went back to the trust, that's good enough for me. I secured once and for all an idea of how to never have them use legal paperwork to disarm me and take my property and rights, which everyone in my life told me couldn't be done. Well, I did it. So if I just did that one thing, because I had such low self-esteem, empowerment, and self-worth all my life, I'm like over the moon and ready to tell everyone about it and go, do you want to know? This is like so powerful. And they go, fuck you, you're yelling about it. Fuck you, you didn't do nothing. Fuck you, you're just a metaversal gorilla. And then I have a dozen other things this week I could point to, even if it's just metaphysically.
I know. Hey, Paul, I love you. I want to give Tom his back up briefly, brother. Please.
So I want to defend Jack real quick on some of the chats. Like whenever they're talking about your censorship, I understand you're trying to find your own way to facilitate this flow. Your ego is just getting in the way of that facilitation. And I think it needs to be done in a context where this is Jack's show to be Jack, and that's not where you should facilitate an unbiased flow. That's why if I was going to make a channel, I'd probably just negate myself and be that unbiased flow. That was the
Why are
earliest
you
thing I did.
telling about what you would do if you did it? That means you haven't done it, so can't talk about it. You're speaking from non-experience. Fuck not. Go do it.
So let
create
me
it. Get the
cross over to
result,
Paul
and tell us how to get where you got.
Paul,
I see that lady behind him getting hot off all this rage and
advice.
Here he goes, talking about the lady like he
No,
always
you
does.
just defended me,
This
Paul.
is
This
what
is what I
broken
wanted to
hoes
come back
do, is
up
start
for.
bringing ladies into the conversation with men.
I wanted to come up to point out that Paul did defend me in the same stream he was slandering me. I forget what all he was saying. It was back
Right,
when
I
I was
didn't
asking you
defend
to
you.
bring me
I
back up.
defended the truth, which doesn't need no defense. And I
No,
went
you
at
were
people
talking
for
about
the
that
truth,
part of
which
you
really
don't need
needs
to
to
be
know his
told
talent.
what you've done and what you've
So
accomplished
yeah, I
and who you
facilitate an
are.
experience with anybody, even if they're reprehensible when it comes to truth. I will stand
You know,
on it.
I
and give
can
my
I
life
can
for it.
kill two birds with one stone, Paul. How about I get my truth out and you dispel the rumors of your cowardice and we
How
just
about
let
I get my dick out and you just suck it once and for all and
Please
shut your mouth and move
stop.
on?
No,
goodness.
both,
gracious.
please. Tom, all right.
No, I'm
Hey,
offended.
thank you.
I'm
Well,
deeply disturbed by that.
no, you're not. You're fine.
Well, I am a bundle
We're
of
all
sticks too.
fine.
But
He's
how
excited
can
by
he
it.
say that stuff about don't tell me what I've done, where I've been, blah blah blah, when he spent the last earlier part telling me I ain't shit?
Okay. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate your
You don't
contribution.
get it. Okay, I'll use a line from Jay-Z. We don't believe you need a whole lot more people. You're the only one that thinks you're somebody. You're the only one that thinks you're powerful. You're the only one that thinks your commitment is not bizarre.
Every one of us has these aspects about ourselves, and it's up to each of us to humble ourselves to the truth, and it's up to each of us to help each other realize
Right.
things we're blind to.
And
Now,
it's up
Paul,
to each of us to have like thousands of experience throughout their lifetime where they're re-verified over and over again that they have something walking with them that changes their life and others. So much so it's talked about even when they're not around. I am that being. I don't need to be egoic about it. And I'm tired of talking to fake ass motherfuckers who do and be little and have a lot to say about who and what I am.
There's
I'm tired of it because
they're
I
out
didn't come
there.
here to
Well,
compete. And now I find oftentimes competition is the most healthy way for us all to grow. So I was
well,
very like Jack, anti-competition, anti-work, all the rest of it. I've like become so Americana since I started this metaverse with a bunch of leftist, worldly, collectivist slave. I went from being almost a leftist, worldly, drug using, collectivized slave to like true Americana, just
well,
dealing with a bunch
here,
of
Paul.
disenfranchised slaves. Go ahead, sir.
Right. Yes, we're surrounded by a lot of people who are confused, and it is what it is, right? We're in the land of confusion, and we are all on our paths. But
No, we're on the land of milk and honey, and we're in
yeah,
confusion. And we're
yes,
in confusion. This isn't the land of confusion. We're on the land God gave us in trust. We're in so confused, we broke the trust, not only with that creational force,
beautifully
but with each
said.
other.
Beautifully said. We've broken the trust, and you know what? Trust and faith; those two things are inseparable, man. Um, we've got to learn how to trust and have faith, and that comes through the humility, recognizing it's not just me, it's all of us. And when we recognize that it is in us, then we are humbling ourselves to allow the vulnerability, to allow the trust and the faith that God brought us to today, to learn what we have to prepare us for what is to come. So who knows what the future is going to bring, but I know we can do more than what has been done. Well, that's why I think we can create that movement to spearhead the end of wars and debts. I really do. I think I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm confident. I can't explain this, but it feels like everything is coming together. That is our destiny.
Jack,
We're
Jack, do you see the list down there of who collects in certain places? You see the list down there? Every single one of them at this point that you're seeing in front of you, except Slyshine now, just haters. Right. And then one of them saying that I said yesterday I was going to the black community on that panel to trick them and swindle them. Fascinating. Right.
I saw that. That looked like a fun. It looked like you guys had some fun
These folks are so
conversation.
stupid. They don't get how much of a gambler I am riding the line between ego and just straight up truth to like fuck with everyone. Cause it's like, bro, I got to go to jail possibly. I got to be with those people. Right. You think that when they look me in the eye and hear what I have to say and feel my heart, they don't know who and what I am, color aside? You're projecting again, right? They know I'm not in this to swindle. If I was, I'd have done a lot better at it. Trust me. Hashtag trust me, right? If I was in this to swindle, I'd have done better than a lot of them out there. Zach Hubbard, oh, I can
Mhm.
number count like a motherfucker and pretend to be everybody's friend like your masters. Oh yeah, I'm great at that. If I liked that, but I couldn't
Well,
stand myself ever living like them. Couldn't
right.
stand myself, so I
Hey,
put needles into myself, right?
hey, amen. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to discover you and men like, well, similar to you. There's none like you. You and
No,
others
it's called the last of a
similar.
dying breed, and there's few of
Well,
us. There ain't many of us, but there's
no.
plenty of us. The kingdom of
Yes.
heaven is few.
Yes, brother, we're rising up. There's more of us than most people think. Which, by the way, I want to be respectful. Rob, Dee Dee, welcome. If you got anything to jump in with,
I'm just
please.
hanging up, man.
Cool. All right.
He's saying everyone sees through me. My voice has changed. Yes, when I come on this metaverse, I'm extremely inspired and energized, and I'm competitive in a certain way. So yes, I'm not like this oftentimes. I didn't start out like this in the car, and I'm not like this necessarily away from here. But ask Jennifer if when they get in my face, Jennifer, you're back there. Jennifer, could you describe the dynamic better than maybe I or others could? Because you're watching me. You may know me better than I know myself because you're a third party viewer. So, is there anything about me there's an extreme disparity? I mean, you've known me for what, couple years now. You started off at the Zoom when I was like nobody and nothing, like they like to say, whatever that means, right? So, any extreme disparity, or I don't want to lead you because I don't want to suppose anything and give you options. So,
in what sense? Like
in what
how
sense?
you are.
Right. The guy down there says
I'm not reading the chat.
Yeah, everyone is seeing through me at this point. Even my voice has changed. I'm extremely fake.
Well, one thing I could say is he's definitely not fake at all. The most real, trustworthy, honest, honorable, respectful, respectable man that I know and have ever known and have ever seen and have ever been around. So there's nothing fake about Paul. He might have a presentment when he's on the channel, but there's nothing fake about it. It's just I don't want to say an exaggerated, but
amplified.
It's an amplified.
Wouldn't that be a great word, right?
I'm just going to say amped up because that's the same thing I do.
Saying is real and true to who and what he is. It's just amplified when he's on here. So have I seen him like this when he's off of? Yes, but not in many occasions, but when needed, yes.
Usually when a slave gets up in my fucking face and tries to take my property rights and freedom and we can't have a normal conversation and reconcile, I go into this mode right here and I start talking to him at the store just like this.
And this is not how he wants to be.
Right. I'd rather not do that. But I also understand that, like, if I view myself outside, I go, oh, that's powerful and entertaining. Look at the white gorilla. So I get it. Right? They love to love it or love to hate it. But it is a genuine aspect of me.
Yeah, and look beyond the presentment and listen to the words that are being spoken, and you might actually learn something.
You read that script very well, Jennifer. I'm glad you prepared before this broadcast.
Amen. Hey,
that's what I'm saying. He's got her under a cult, and she's got a rap.
I was just going to say
too, as mind controlled.
I was just going to say too, as a reminder, when we reflect on those words, we've got to make sure we comprehend what those words mean and say.
Amen. Yeah, and there's also like this part of us, right? Because again, it's like, I don't want to be this way. Okay. And then the other side is like, no, because I do what I want. And if I didn't want to be that way and be in that energy, I wouldn't. So some space of it, whether it's a false power or not, feels powerful to me. So that's why the fuck I do it. Because I remind myself I am powerful, just like everybody else is. So yeah, I get in that space of in-house generation. I'm inspired. I'm empowered. That's a modality. It's a self-actualized, realized position. It doesn't mean that I think that I can't be harmed or cause loss to. It means that in the face of harm and causing loss to me, I'm going to remain empowered and inspired while being caring and loving and forgiving of folks who continue to make an enemy out of me.
Well, if I may, part of this, what I've been learning too, is I pay close attention to what I'm doing, and I really ask myself to justify to myself, why do you want to do this? What is the intention of going to the store? Beyond just a novel idea that popped in my head, why do I want to do what I want? Because if I choose to do something, I'm committing myself to avoiding other things. So what am I ignoring? I find myself often, standing in front of the fridge or in front of the freezer. And I'm like, what the fuck? How did I get here? Right?
It's not a good sign, Jack. That's early onset Alzheimer's. You might want to get that checked.
No, I've been paying close attention. Go ahead, Dee. What were you saying?
I was going to say, it looks like you ate a Snickers, man. It was pretty bleak there earlier. You were pretty, holy shit, man. Pretty down in the dumps. It's good to see you bring it back up. Let's do some positive reinforcement here.
Amen. Thank you. Well, there was something Paul was saying, and I forgot what it was, but you do, man. You bring a gift. You've got a gift and a message. You got a gift and the wanting. Why do we do what we do? That's the key. Why do we do what we do? Why do I want to do these things? And most importantly, the biggest aspect with that I learned for myself, want. If we
I feel like
own,
I hurt your feelings or something because you keep throwing me out like I'm some piece of trash.
right, you keep coming in thinking only of yourself.
Pick up.
No, Moose is just here to fuck with you, man. He's not here to help you.
That's what I'm seeing.
It's pretty simple
But
to
the
see.
thing, but the thing is he really thinks he is trying to help me.
Well, no, that's the thing about Moose is he has a presentment that is less authentic to self, right? And we could all again go back to what I was just talking about. Me again, my percentages are just better than most. So, like, I'll steal a line from Montana. I always tell the truth, even when I lie, because I'm so disingenuous at time. The only person in the room who's not getting it is someone who's completely ignorant and arrogant anyway. In which case, I couldn't talk to him anyway. So I don't know if that makes sense. But I've never directly lied to anybody. I just do like Wizard says. I'm so disingenuous that I bullshit you with your own bullshit back to you because I know that's what you want. And then I watch the results because everyone thinks it's funny, including me. I've been doing that for years at parties. I start off being me, there's resistance, and then they try to play games. So then I just go to giving them everything they want. And then I build their ego up, and then I start making cracks. And then eventually they want to fight me. Right? Because like they realize everyone's laughing around them and they're like, what's happening? I go, well, I'm fucking with you right now and you're the only one who doesn't know it. So that shows something about you and your awareness.
I could so see you doing that too, man. Holy shit. It's probably happened here too, but
do I get to defend myself at all, Jack, from the accusations from the man in the corner? I don't even know the man in the corner.
That's DD214.
Oh, I admitted it an hour ago.
Oh, he's got his slave ball shirt on. That's why I didn't realize.
See how easily confused you are?
Come on, man. You know he's just trying to trigger.
Jack,
Look, dude,
You're gonna have to
I
try a hell of a lot
understand,
harder
like,
than that, Moose. Paul tried. Paul tried. It doesn't
look,
work.
I
You
came
can't
in
break
here
me, bro.
like with a message for you about living with purpose, and you threw me out 4 times, and then you want me to take it seriously. Like I took it seriously the first time, but then after like getting thrown out of the classroom a few times, I'm starting to think like you're messing with me. You're playing some manipulation games here, and I'm not
You
digging.
know what? Since you won't shut up when I'm trying to speak anyway, you're right. You're not taking me seriously. So you're not fucking coming up again today. And if you want to speak to me, be a man, follow the instructions and the offers that were given to you in the email. Stop fucking with me and my life online. Moose?
Michael Sino.
Can I say something here real quick, Jack? Because I kind of felt the same way as Moose for a while there. But Moose, you got to recognize you've got a part in it too, and this is what I'm going through. My part in our problems with Jack is my part in being the way I was. And Jack, I know that you know that, I know that you see the changes in me. I'm only asking that you see those changes in Moose too. He is changing. He is trying. And so please don't be so hard on him. I'm doing my best not to be so hard on you. And I'm asking that you be reciprocal in that. I yield.
Respect, brother, for everything you said. The only disagreement I had from what you said is I don't see Moose's improvement. I've seen him going farther and farther towards disrespecting me, not only claiming a connection to me, but then using that to make his disrespect even worse. So,
and I can see how you can see that, and that's why I'm asking you to try to see the other.
Hey, well,
just try, brother. Just try.
Your words have been heard. I mean, God bless. And
thank you. And the immediate response was to bring him back up. I appreciate that. Please let him have his word. again.
Hey, I won't bring up the living with purpose on
Prove
here
that your
again.
purpose is being fulfilled. You got to quit interrupting.
Sorry, sir.
Thank you. So, as I was saying, I've repeated it many times. Even City Hall gives you 3 minutes. Okay? If you could just stick to that for people that are coming up here, whether you disagree with them or not. And Paul, I got to say it to you too, the same thing. You know, if you have to sit there and write down notes, please do so. If you want to bring this forum, these communities together, we have to learn how to be Socratic. And with that, I yield.
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to what you're saying from my perspective. There's also this other side of it where I watch folks for decades cycle in confusion and pretend they don't know and play the ego, arrogance, ignorance game. I don't give folks that much credit, okay? So it's not because we're just not talking low enough and kind enough and nice enough and pausing long enough. They don't want to learn. They don't want to be better. And that's why they are where they are, generating the results they have. So you might want to because, I get it. When we get tested and we're down and dark and facing death and all that, we get more humbled and more loving and caring. I got that. I'm constantly going through that process. I'm also not going to play the game with myself and everyone else where we all can't do and be better. Okay? Because there's no one out there who could have talked low enough and nice enough and kind enough to me to tell me to stop being a fat, lazy, selfish fuck who was lying and cheating and stealing. Okay? It was actually when they told me, sit in the fucking cell, scumbag, and die of the fucking withdrawal because we don't even give a fuck about you. You don't care about yourself and your family and the truth. Wow, that hit home.
I bet it would.
Yep.
I bet it did.
And that it kind of hit home for me too when I was 18 and I sat in prison for 3.5 years and not a single motherfucker wrote me. Not one. So yeah, they put me in there to do the same thing, to die.
Well, I trust, hey, if I may, Wizard, thank you for the honorable thing. And Moose, you should recognize honor and honorable things when you experience them. So he showed you an example of respect. And
I didn't want to say anything because I'm actually walking on eggshells at the moment. I was gonna say thank you. I was gonna say I appreciate that. Like, yes, I have made strides. Do I take steps back at times? Yes. Did I come today for chaos? No, that was not my intent. When I first came up here, it was not my intent. Did my intent change throughout our interaction? Yes, because when you feel like you're being disrespected or manipulated, um, you don't take well to that. So I mean, if you were sitting in my shoes, I think you would feel very similar. Like it was a misunderstanding.
no,
I
you're
wasn't trying
wrong.
to change your brand. I'm not
You're
trying to
right.
change who
You're
you are.
wrong. You're wrong about your assumptions of me and the reasons you received what you did from me. Had you bothered to pay attention to my words in the past, had you ever accepted the invitations for conversations I'd extended many times,
Well, I have, brother.
had you even bothered to actually read and consider the words I sent to you yesterday in email, you'd have come today with a totally different fucking attitude, but you didn't. And by the grace of Wizard and the kindness, encouragement of others, you're back. But
When you're expecting a frog to fly like an eagle, you're gonna get something that you don't expect, and I don't understand. Like I literally came here.
Literally makes no sense.
Right,
It's
and that's
fucking
part of the
weird.
problem is folks keep considering themselves a frog and other people eagles and making comparisons instead of realizing we don't fly unless we are operating the wings of this craft together. So, you don't change up your presentment based on what other people think and say about you, right? If anything, you get more bold and righteous, like they say I've changed. I've just gotten more stepping out into the power and more vocal about it, right? So I'm not accepting this whole thing of you're this, you're low, you're this, you're being disrespected. All these archetypes of self that
well,
just take away from the strength and empowerment. It's all excuses. It's all
right.
Justification.
Yeah, you're right, man. I
Well,
was living in my imagination, as Jack would say.
yes, and this is the point. I allow the facts to guide my decisions. Now, I've given Moose multiple opportunities to come to me to
You've been
present
very
himself as a man
gracious.
of
You've been
honor.
very
Right.
gracious, and you sent me your phone
And
number
you're
yesterday.
interrupting
I'm
me
gonna
right
contact
now.
you. I just wanna jump in here real quick to make the record straight, make it fair to everybody involved, and to clear the air. I don't think
What will
living with
clear the
purpose
air?
is no, living with purpose is not your brand because you're clearly not living with the purpose that I have.
You're a
So we're
fucking
on two
clown.
different pages. Like, no, it's not that
Okay,
it's
so
Yeah.
not
now
that you're wrong.
he's
It's
doing a
not that
half
you're wrong. I'm just saying
yeah, he's
we
doing a
have
half
two
bit,
different
half
like ideas
convincing
on how the
himself
show should
because
go and
yeah,
where
he
we should
Yes.
knows
take it.
he
Right.
And
knows
now I'm getting talked
Right.
over, because I'm
Yes.
trying to explain.
yeah, because
Yes.
it's
You're
nonsense. It's
getting talked
nonsense. The
over
reality
because
is
you,
go
Paul,
ahead.
you're getting talked over because you're forgetting your place. Yeah. You're very quick to fucking point out this living without purpose. No, that is not the one I've invested thousands of dollars in. Live without fear is. And I don't know, go ahead, do the trademark search if you want, or I'd mentioned this before. I don't have a problem branching out once success has started to be built, but piss off, Moose. This is my platform, not yours. I give him grace and he wants to come up and present some fucking case, build a record, continue wasting everyone's time. I'm sorry. That is not the purpose. And you know what? Here I am. I'm wasting everyone's time venting.
Gotta have that discipline, Jack.
It's
Don't let
growing.
people like that derail you and put you on a detour.
But why?
Gotta stay
Why
positive.
shouldn't I defend the time and keep this time and space for the purpose of enlightenment and education? Why shouldn't I impose some order and place some expectations on those who want to share time? I think I should.
Well, I think everybody you have on panel now, not including myself, um, is gonna help lead you there. He's just fucking with you, man. I mean, he
I,
really is
I
just
know.
fucking with you. He's
Hey, but
wasting
see,
your
okay,
time.
so now you're gonna take over his position, like, because you're gonna
Not
do
at
the
all.
path. You just
I'm
did
giving
it.
an
And
opinion.
you're constantly doing it. Everyone here, except for me, because I'm deemed not to be a leader, so I'm gonna passively aggressively play the victim and
No.
self-deprecate, even though your ego is not that. So cut it out. Come out in the open, just like I did with what they call ego. Stand it. Walk it and talk it, right? Tell us how you really
Well,
feel, not how you think we feel about you.
all that
No, I don't want
matters
you to
is the
judge me.
fact.
I'm not here to be judged.
There's no judgment. You
I
never
saw it.
listen. This is the point. You're just like all of them. This is why
Well,
we have
Paul, come
resistance.
on now. Hey, Paul, you have
Keep
opportunity.
using words with no meaning. Judgment is not
Paul,
discernment. I can't have you taken out and put in a box. There's no judgment.
resistance prevents acceptance. Without acceptance, there is no consideration. Without consideration, there is no understanding. So please, Paul, you have opportunity to learn and grow with us as well. The
Right.
different
By listening to a
perspectives.
bunch of cycling nonsense and then saying we're
Well,
about purpose, but never getting down to purpose and then talking about it, but not showing it. And when you try to show it, they tell you're being egoic.
well, Paul, there's many who those words apply to, but today we're just I saw Didi presenting a perspective on facts, and I actually agreed with his perspective. I didn't see him trying to take over or any of that. I see us developing. I've
I'm
I've
not a manipulator. I just talk the way that I feel. I mean, if you don't like what I say, that's fine. There's things other people say that I don't like. That's fine.
well, we all
He still
do
thinks it's about likes
manipulate.
and dislikes like a child or a woman.
Of
Well, not a
course it
woman, a little
is.
girl.
Of
A
course it
child or
is.
a little girl thinks we're all here for what we like and dislike, right? Like my
Well,
father, rights and freedoms and principles are not my cup of tea, he said, right? He doesn't like it.
I didn't hear that, but likes and dislikes is part
He
of why
wasn't talking
we're
about me.
here. We get to learn what we like by what we learn we don't like, and vice versa.
Right.
We get to
And
learn the experience and the polarity of all things. It's pretty
right. Hey,
friggin' cool.
hey, Jack, can we forget Baba Yama, Julian? Can we reach out to like a real guru who's not gonna call himself a guru and bring him on here and let him be nice and polite and kind? You know, like pick someone, right? Because you love Sadhguru. You know, he's got some good stuff sometimes, but obviously a slave still. But even he one time had to pipe up and tell a slave, shut the fuck up pretty much and
Oh,
sit down because you're arguing. And I can tell by the root of the words you choose where you're at in consciousness. And you don't know that. You all don't think folks like the police and others. This is why they say I'm an agent, because they think I'm part of them and know something. I study everyone and everything extensively and how it works.
well,
Okay. So that's how they get you in a room and know what you did. 9 out of 10 times. You don't have to tell them. They could tell by the words you choose, the root of the consciousness and the thought, and what your imagery is inside your head and beingness, where you're at.
here, I want to offer something because you're bringing us into that image of being locked up or put under pressure. The biggest thing we've got to learn, everyone individually, is how to know that difference between what you know and what you don't know. Because if you come forth honest, regardless of the situation, if you come forward about what you know, fuck the results, fuck what anybody else says. As long as you're standing in the truth and the facts support what you're saying, what you're doing, and especially if you're in a situation where someone's claiming authority over you, trying to impose control over you, man, that's the time to stand confidently, calmly, peacefully in what you know. And what you know is that you are free. We are free. Regardless what these other clowns, regardless who comes in or out of our day. This is something I didn't believe many years ago because I had a false illusion. I didn't understand the definition of freedom. But freedom brings with it the responsibility. And we're responsible for maintaining the peace and the freedom of ourselves, right? Controlling ourselves and learning to flow, man. Flow, but what Dee Dee and I admitted my own manipulation the other day. We all do have that ability to manipulate. That's how we adapt, right? We can manipulate ourselves just as we try and manipulate others, and we've got to do both with the right intentions. And the right intentions for me is peace, man. I love peace. Hey guys, I'm thinking this might be a good time to wrap up. Keeping it under 2 hours for those who do tune in at another time. And it's not an overwhelming commitment to start out on.
I think DD214 is great content because every time that he talks at all, we have something to look to reverse engineer the psychology of somebody who's godless and part of the system. So he's like a perfect test case.
You
Like
know,
if he
it's
was
amazing. I'm a
smart,
good person. I'm godless, right? I don't follow Paul's ideal slave build plan there, right?
slave,
How dare someone? How can
what?
someone be good and do good things and be honorable person and not believe in God? Right?
Hey,
Is
have
that, is
you
that
looked around everywhere? Everyone thinks they're good people and they're all doing evil shit because they believe in absurdities.
mm,
There's no objective measurable standard for truth. I'm not saying God, the human conceptualization we're given on the whole. I use the term God as an overarching idea. Basically,
mhm.
like I like to tell you, which you always ignore. See, you folks are selective because I'll give you the God generalized term, and then I'll say, for all you institutionalized, worldly, godless folk, conscience, right? So the same reason you found me, because you don't like me, I know that. I may not even have to like you. We all share the same love and care and the same truth, which is centered in our conscience, in our heart. Right? So when I speak all that good shit about upholding the law and God given rights, you better hope that you and others, if you don't believe in God, uphold the concept of God, because without God, you lose your rights, dummy.
Well,
Yeah, but see, I don't see it that way, and it's not
I
that I
know you
don't
don't
like
see
you.
it that
I
way
don't
hey,
because you
exist
don't
hey,
like you.
guys,
because you never studied a motherfucking thing extensively,
uh,
including the philosophy and the
I mean, you
foundational
say that, but you
okay,
have no
principles
you have no
time
ground to
out,
stand on.
time out,
the
time out,
founders and others
time out,
literally said the
Paul.
reason for God is to protect rights. Because if you don't put God in there, these are folks who didn't agree on what God was. They said, we're all going to leave the table. And then somebody out of nowhere, apparently, as the story goes, said, you all better get your act together because it's not about agreeing on which God is correct and true. It's about a principle. If you don't uphold conscience and center it in something outside of self, other men and women are going to take it from you because they're going to claim your rights come from them so they can take them. So you better
See,
study the Federalist Papers and all the rest of the foundational principles of this country and the disagreements as well as the similarities. So when you do that, get back to me and you'll understand more about being an American.
having the idea that God will control your life and make things better,
I never said
I'm
that.
still
You
in the search.
obfuscated. Answer
I
what the
never
fuck
said
I
you
just
said
said.
that.
Answer
Jesus
to what I
Christ,
just
man. It's
said,
like
not what
you
you
don't
want to
listen at
answer
all.
to.
You're ready to
Answer
react.
to what I
You're
just
ready
put
to
on the
react.
table,
You just
not
don't
what you
listen.
choose to answer to.
Listen.
Bad
You
faith
can't listen.
actor.
It's impossible for you to listen. You like to divide. You're a
Answer to
divider.
what I just put on the table, not the question or the answer you want to rebut
I'm
or
mid
answer
study.
to.
I'm here. I'm on a channel that has a lot to do with God
So
and
now we'll do like
the
we do with
conscious of
children
that.
at school. They'll say it's egoic. Repeat back to me what I just said and why and how. Repeat it back so you know how we secure our rights through what we
Paul,
call God, centered in conscience that we
I don't.
uphold in law.
You may
time out,
think that way.
time out, time out, both,
You don't think
please,
that. I'm going to argue.
please, Paul,
I came to learn,
Paul,
but I'm going to
Paul,
argue.
dang it,
You're
Paul,
the arguer.
stop, please, both of you. Hey, you know what? I was going to wrap up, but this is a good conversation. And what Paul was saying to you, Dee Dee, it was something I was thinking about earlier, okay? The consciousness and what is God. To me, and Dee Dee, I'd love if we could have this conversation because to me, I don't believe in God. It's beyond a doubt to me, okay? So what that means to me, though, is where all of us have our different dilemmas, right? For me, to use what Paul was saying about the consciousness, right? God is, imagine we're thoughts within the mind of God. So what is mind? Mind is an activity of thoughts. What is consciousness? Consciousness is what we possess when we're awake, when we're asleep. It is the phenomenon of activity in the mind. So our entire life is based in our minds through our memories, our imaginations, our perceptions. It's all chemicals and electrical signals. So, and here, let's become humble. I don't know what you've learned or have not learned about science, but dude, between physics, the laws of energy, biology, this shit is magical. I mean, there's a divine design to life, to the stars, to the planets, and many of our ancestors have spent lifetimes trying to record and trying to figure out what are these patterns of life. And that's where the sciences have evolved and the different philosophies and religions. But
Well, if I go to what Paul is saying, I understand the word God, and I understand God in some people, that your beliefs and what you believe is God is controlling of basically everything. We owe everything to Him, right? Our freedom, our life, The way we act, the way we do things. And so you've all seen me around here. I ask questions. I don't try to refute. I don't try to reboot, oh God, this, I will refute the flat earth theory. But when it comes to that, I'm still trying to understand exactly why it's so important for everybody to have that inner, spiritual belief of it. You see what I'm
Can,
saying?
can I explain something really quick? And I hope everybody pays attention real close. I'm going to make it real simple. In my view, God, like I've said, according to Hebrew, is Ruach HaKodesh, source of life. In the source of life, we all know females in all things are the birth things except for seahorses. Everything else is either asexual or the female gives birth. Okay? Fee, male. Think about that. FEE is the same as FE, and they both mean the same thing: order, command. So when it comes to the source of life, we all know it to be female, and that fee, male, is the male that has to make the order and the command, not the woman. There's a distinct difference. Female and woman are not the same thing. Womb man is the man with the womb. Male and female created he them. Every one of us, every creature except the asexual, like worms, have a male female characteristic in all of us. In us as people, it's seen as passion. Many animals don't show that passion as we see passion in our own presence, but we see it in their own societal structures, no matter what structure they go by, whether it's a dog pack or a lion pride or a troop of elephants or a league of kangaroos, whatever it is. They all have their own societal structures, but they all have some kind of passion that they express one way or another, whether it be through their protective means or through whatever. Like I said before, you cannot smile at a chimpanzee and think that you're being passionate and showing good things, because the chimpanzee will take it as an aggression. So we really have to learn how to communicate. And one of those things I keep telling you, learn those words, terms, and conditions. They do mean something. So when we talk about a woman versus a female versus men and women, there are distinct differences. Please get back to that, and you'll find out the source of life in you is your purpose, your intents. And I don't think any man is born with ill intents. Period. That's what's to know thyself. You have to look in yourself. With that, I yield. I think you're doing great, brother.
Well, I was closed minded for a long time. I would totally shy away. God, fuck you, whatever. That's bullshit. But my mind has been open here recently, and I'm staying open. I'm taking notes. Chat's over. I'm going to do a bunch of research like I do every night, and just try to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? And as for Paul, it's not that I don't like you. I don't dislike you. I think you have value. We just don't agree in a lot of way that we talk to each other about things. But no, everybody here, Jack, Paul, you three are like the major three top guys that I see as being most educated in everything that I'm trying to get educated in.
But DD two
So just
14, do you see the irony? And this is why. And then they go like Tommy before it goes, I don't get it. I came and I complimented him, and then he really screamed on me even more. And I go, because you all keep saying you respect me and what I know and how.
And again, I'll say one more thing real quick if I can, Jack, because somebody just mentioned in the comment section about Yahweh leads back to breath. And think about it. When you breathe in, it's and it sounds like Yahweh. I also want to point out to you that in the English language, they have vowels. And they told you the order is A, B, C, D, E, and it comes out A, E, I, O, U. Okay? I, O, U, promissory note. Okay? It also, if you do it in the right directive, E, I, O, U, A, and pronounce those vowels as they're meant to sound, it says Yahweh. Yahweh. Think about it. You really are in control of what you say if you know what you're saying and how it correlates.
No other venue would you open a door and have someone come in to be served or taught something and then argue or reject the product. It is a bizarre dynamic. So if you
Well,
want to see me, there you're doing it again. It's why they say I just can't stop talking. And when I shut up and go to get in common talking, I get talked the fuck over 2 times in a row. So you're going to go, wait. And I know it's your platform. So, when I do that on my platform, I'm yelled at. When I shut the fuck up and let people talk, we go nowhere most of the time. Unless someone like Wizard is speaking. Right. Unless someone like Wizard is speaking. So, again, we need to read the room. You need to show deference and reverence to truth, which is going to come through people. So it should transfer to them. And when you show up to their platform because they have something, or you show up in their life because they have something and it leads to a platform, you should probably act in kind. If you weren't a fool who was selfish and greedy and slothful and lustful and wasteful and unthankful and ungrateful. Because the whole reason I and the Wizard and others do this is because we know it needs to be done and we love and care about all of us, not just ourselves. Really? We're all one self. Yes, really, Jack. I know it's hard for you to believe because you're godless too, ultimately.
You know what, Paul? My
just
patience,
like
my patience with you has may have reached its limits for today too, Paul. I love you. I admire what you do. But just as you were saying, it's quite amazing to come to someone's platform, someone who has value to offer, and insist they shut up so you can continue your temper tantrums, Paul. So, Dee Dee, I want to encourage you, despite the criticisms you just received. I think you're doing great, man. You're asking the questions and you are seeking the knowledge. That's what I see. And I see you maintaining your skepticism too. You're not allowing yourself, you're not going to go blindly and just because so and so said it. I get it. What I would, if I may, go ahead, Dee Dee. What were you saying?
I was going to say it has to make sense to me. I unfortunately use a lot of logic in everything I do. So it has to make sense, and it has to, I have to make it apply to my life.
I love that. So I'm a man of logic as well, which is why I denied myself faith most of my life. Okay. And that was a question you asked a little bit ago, is why does it matter or something like that, right? What is the benefit maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in my life, make me better. That's what I was getting to, making me better.
I can offer no guarantees. I can offer what others have said and my own experience. I don't have the material results, right? Outside, I don't have success or abundant or love, relationships. I don't have that stuff. But I'm telling you, if you can walk with the belief that there's a creator, and really, here's what I want to encourage. For those who are on the fence, it's real easy to spend time continuing to stay in doubt. But I'm telling you, if you can trust that there is a benefit to believing, if you can see a benefit to having that question answered so that you do finally know, convince me, is there a God or is there not, so that I may know? And then if you can commit yourself to that, I'm telling you, I truly believe in everything I've been reading and hearing from the Bible. I believe there's so much truth in there. Okay. The fact of seek and ye shall receive. To me, the God that controls all things from the human perspective is knowledge, right? Knowledge through the mass of information. We come to knowledge, and through the knowledge of right and wrong, we discover the truth. And it's this logic, brother. Logic is our gift. But our logic is only as good as the variables included. So how do we know we've learned enough for the answer to be there? How do we know when we've got enough factors included to figure out what's right? That comes from the gut. And brother, that that feeling in your gut that you get, that is your spirit. And that love that draws you into something more, that's your spirit. And then when you get those flashes of inspiration, that's the spirit. It's just up to us to watch for it and to seek the guidance of that inner being. Sorry, go ahead, Dee Dee.
I was gonna say maybe I'm feeling selfless or selfish because I attribute everything that I am in my 47 years on this planet that I've done everything, whether I've had help from other people, but I've forwarded my way to where I am, and maybe giving that up to say, oh, God did that for me, or a higher power is
All
doing
the
it, and it
credit for
wasn't
who you
me.
are.
It seems kind of I don't know, doesn't fit. So and I'm looking to try to make something fit because I am looking. I do have questions, and I will always have questions, but.
Remember when we talked in the past about pride? And I ascertained, and you even said that it's one of your best qualities. I think it's one of your undoing. So you want to sit and say, I've gotten everywhere I am just all on my own. And I go, okay, I accept that. I'll give you that credit. Now, what are you? A slave. Exactly. So I agree that you, with your own devices, leading on your own understanding, has gotten everywhere you've gotten right now, a pet, domesticated, orderly slave under a system of the beast. So now lean not on your own understanding and walk in the way, and maybe we could all become something better than we've always been.
And I see the same thing, Steve, only because I'm a lot like Paul. But again, I urge you to comprehend my perspective on the term God, because truly it is the source of life, and truly it is your own breath. And as I've said before, even the Christian scriptures agree that man became a living soul, and every breath of life is an act of the source of life, if I could put it that way. So, and that's why I do agree with him. If you could give credit to that source of life and say, yes, all that energy that you did expend, and the pride that you hold in yourself also extends to the source of life, which should include your mom and dad, in honor, of course, which I'm sure you do, your wife, because that's an extension for your children, all that kind of stuff. And that's the only thing I'm pointing out, that
Yeah,
the
and
true source.
here's the sword tongue, wizard. I get it. You're like we got away from the whole dumbass thing. I appreciate that. We could play good cop, bad cop. There's a word I know folks like to ignore a lot of these words. Honor able. So when they give me this fucking catch-all scripture, honor thy mama and daddy, are they honorable? Am I able to honor them in truth, or would I be lying to myself and them and the Creator? Let's cut it out. Because I ain't going to honor motherfuckers who ain't honorable, because I'm going to be lying to myself and them and the Creator. I don't care how much they want it and need it for their positioning. It's got to come authentically, just like the leader of a military, DD-214. If we're going to salute that boy, he's got to lead from the front and be honorable, or else we're going to lose morale. Okay? That spirit's going to be sucked right up out of us. So you want to claim to be the daddy, you better walk it and talk it. You better stand for something, or else I can't honor you. And then when you refuse to honor me for doing what you have not done, it's only rebuking onto you further, convicting yourself further, saying it's not your cup of tea. So being honorable and respectable and trustworthy and upholding the law is not your cup of tea. Well, we're not equally yoked. The scripture is that way for a reason. It doesn't say yoke yourself to a bunch of dishonorable infidel scum and try to love them. It says love them, but understand that we come with a care in our heart and a sword from our tongue. That is me.
And I can assure you he's right on that, brother, because as being a DD-214, I urge you to check that out. That operates two ways. It is either a release, as we expressed before, or a discharge. Now, if you took it as a release, you're still under their services and their administration. And when you look up 32 CFR 1060 or 1604, 1602.4, 1604.2, 1604.2, it tells you the selective service system is responsible for all administrations. So they're still holding you under that administration if you don't have that discharge.
No, you have to have 8 years of selectable service. So if you do
Right.
4 years and get out, then you have 4 more years, even if you're sitting at home doing whatever. But if you do 8 years of active, you're no longer in the selective service anymore.
Do you
Right.
understand, sir?
But that's why you do it as a discharge for civilian service for a
Right.
4-year contract that is null and void once that 4 years is done. There's no more contract.
Do you understand
So
DD
1604.2?
Yes, 32 CFR 1604.2. And that'll help enforce that contract because 4 years after you're done, then that discharge applies. You can do that civilian service for 4 years, but once that 4 years is done, you hold them to the discharge.
I was going to say, I would rub your feet if you would just walk with me in this way and uphold the law, not my way. You don't have to do it the way I do it. It might not be the best for you or me, really, but it's the way I'm doing it, I guess. Right? It's the way a little bit my way. Right? So I would rub your feet if I could look to you and know that when the time comes, you're going to stand and do everything you signed up to do for the military, for what we call God, or the truth and conscience, which we all can ascertain. It's pretty fucking simple when we get right down to it and get away from all the shit we've been taught. So I would rub you and all the rest of the military's feet in front of the world on live and show how non-egoic I am to finally know that I can look to my brothers and trust them to uphold the law and to give their life if necessary. I will honor them more than even necessary.
I think it's time for us to really, I don't want this to be taken wrong, but honor the truth. But we've got to recognize that there is a truth within every being. And we're here to honor the truth that is within each of us so that the truth may come forth and it may be shared. Because truth, Dee, truth is God. Okay? God and truth, they control us. They will bring us to our knees. They will surprise us. They will confuse us. To me, truth is God, and the truth is not known without love. The logic leads us to the truth, but if we reach a conclusion and love is absent, it's not the answer. Because love is always the answer. Without love, the truth is not there. So honor the truth. That's the most important thing. The people are special, but they're within God's care.
Well, I've left the door open. If it finds me, it finds me. I'm not closed-minded to it anymore. I was very against it. I was very anti-religion, anti-God, very, very much so. I even have the devil tattooed on my leg to basically reboot that in general. And I will always be open-minded. I know I was a caveman in a sense because I did close my mind to a lot of things. As you get older, you get wiser, apparently. So that's where I'm at.
Not necessarily, sir. Have you seen a lot of the elders in my family? So let's not be too hasty.
I'm not speaking for everybody.
Okay, but here's the thing. You say, I'm open to finding it. It's already here. You're not seeing it. It's called
I'm
revelation.
not seeing it, correct.
Right. So, okay, how much more do I have to show you? The leaves go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pattern, evidence of creation, program, law, right? Every single one of you comes before me, like Jennifer, and say at one time in your life, you got demons tattooed on you. I don't see God anywhere on you. I barely even see it in you. Okay?
It's not
So
there.
you think exactly, but what is there's the devil, apparently. Well, if the devil's there and on you and in you, well, something else equally and maybe more powerful might also be on you and in you and around you. You just have to look the same way you look for all the devils. You have to look the same way, I guess, for what you call God. So I look and I see. You look and don't see. This is the problem I have with most people, is how do we bridge that gap of looking and seeing, looking and not seeing? Every one of you claims to be unique and special, but has the same thoughts, emotions, actions, and life journey and pattern. And every one of you is one of me. So when I say one of you, all criticism is self-criticism. I have the same exact journey and worse. I put the devil into my veins, right? That dope, right? So not only did I have it in and on me, I put it all the way, like connected the whole circuit, right? Right into my veins through the fang of the snake from the garden. Because if you zoom in on a syringe, it's a snake's fang. You can't tell the difference. So, I'm like the purest form of seeing all sides of it, right? I was completely godless, completely rebuking of God, completely given over to the devil because I thought I didn't have abundance and thriving in faith here. I didn't have any hope, let alone faith. We know hope is as hollow as fear, but I didn't have hope or faith.
Well, and this is where love is really the answer, because love will bring us forward. It'll bring us, we can be pushed and controlled by fears, trying to avoid problems, trying to avoid life, or we can embrace that which has come before us, right? We can embrace the day that, what's the Latin term, fator amor fati, seize the day, love the
No,
fate,
that's love your fate.
or
Carpe
love the
diem,
fate, carpe
Calcott.
diem. Yeah. I get them wrong, but that's the idea. I mean, the whole idea of faith, it's for your mind so that you can have an excuse to feel comfortable, right? But the thing is, when we deny God, we're denying that which is true.
Dude, what we need to get together one day. God, I can't believe I just used that term. Every day here and not much happens, but there's something happening. Something's happening when nothing's happening.
Amen.
So hope is what you need when you lack faith, because you need to convince yourself it's going to be okay when you have no evidence. Faith is what happens when you go past fear every time and you're better for it, and this time's going to be no different. So let the storm come. I'm a dance in the rain. See? So you're right on the thread, and then you, from my perspective, off a little bit. And I'm telling you, if you're off by an inch or off by a mile in this game of consciousness and awareness, that's what's fucking everybody. If you're off by an inch or off by a mile, you DD214 knows you got the mil dots, right? You're thousands of yards out. You're off by an inch on the scope. You're off by a mile by the time it hits. That's the lens we're looking through. Okay. Most folks have a paradigm. It's called a lens. They're looking through it and they think they see the all. You have to expand your consciousness and awareness and let go of the beliefs and see the all as the all, not aspects of all as the all, if that makes sense. So you don't have it most of the time. I'm not claiming I do. I'm claiming there's a space of true enough we all can get to where the next right thing is the next right thing. And it shows itself to be, even if the next right thing is doing nothing. Sometimes. See how that works? And then they say, Paul, he's talking in circles again, like the rat in the sewer on Ninja Turtles. It's always the same dynamic. I'm the rat in the sewer that has to teach the Ninja Turtles. See the game? So call me the rat, call me the lowlife, call me the sewer-dwelling gorilla scum, whatever animal you want to choose, right? What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? The Tao, thousands of years before Christ. What is a bad man? What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? I am a good man because I'm here teaching us all who've been bad men how to be better. What is a bad man but a good man's job? A police, a military, a politician. Good men, right? On the face of it. Bad men when you get into who and what they are and what they're up to. So the Tao has never been wrong if you can interpret, just like all the spiritual scriptures haven't been wrong if you can interpret and discern. Most people can't interpret and discern because they lack awareness. You lack a discipline.
They lack guidance. They have the awareness. And actually, Dee Dee, back to that idea of God is consciousness, right? The awareness is the evidence of God in our life. The fact that we have the gift of mental comprehension of the moment, that awareness is God's presence, sharing our perspective on the time of creation.
By saying those things, I'm hearing you. Like I'm processing it. It's coming in here. I hear it. But I do if I say, oh, okay, it is God, but I don't believe that. You see what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying? I'm
not
looking
authentic.
for exactly. I'm looking for that that thing, that conversion, that event, that something that makes it just there. And you know, as long as I'm watching you guys from the chats and coming on panel talking about whatever, you know, I'm still here just trying to apply it to my life and trying to make it work. I wouldn't say trying. I'm letting it try. I'm
Yeah.
letting it in. I didn't used to do that. So
Yeah, there's no dogma here. There's for me, I'll speak keep it in the eye like it always has to be. There's no book or, God deity. I'm going to tell you, you got to take this and do this to be part of this thing. Even once, if you, let's say you accept completely on some level and feel it, more importantly, what I'm talking about, it doesn't even do anything for me at the end. This is the point of what a true witness is supposed to be. They spend their whole life knocking door to door to give you the revelation of who and what you are and the good news. And then they're on to the next one. There's no motive here. That's more evidence of God. In case you don't know, the will to constantly give yourself away so others can live better, that's the story of the Christed being. So then you have to ascertain who is really doing that, living that way. Right? So I may talk a lot of stuff sometimes and put the heat and fire under people, but it's only because I care, like Daddy would. He says, Daddy's got to put some heat to you sometimes and really burn away the impurities off your belief system so we can get down to the core principles. What's the essence of who and what we are? Let's burn away all that impurity that we've molded up over, that patina, right? When the gold, when the silver sits in the dirt for a long time like we have in the filth and the darkness, it gets this kind of rust over it. And you have to use the vitriolic acid in alchemy to break that down to get back to the shining core essential inherent value. So that's the process I try to employ, and it almost comes naturally to me. I really don't have a method to my madness. The thing does, I just let it work through me based on what's presented in front of me. So when DD214, like others, the light in his eyes changes a little bit, he's more open to receive, he's not as argumentative, my approach changes a little bit. The truth doesn't change, my approach changes, because you could tell what somebody wants by their time, energy, attention they put in and what they put it on and how they do that. The same way, if you ever had, you got to study everything. I had one teacher that taught me this because he would always know what you were doing, even when you try to pretend not. He knows when you're ready to learn. He says, you could say whatever you want, like Moose and the rest. I hear it in your voice. I see it and feel it on you. You're trying to play me. And every time a being would actually be ready to learn and open to receive and wanting to know and not caught up in their own bullshit, the presentment changes. And now everyone gets what they were there to get. Right? So the teacher or the being or the person bearing testimony and witness to the event and the experience that all come to experience has to be allowed to do that. And you have to be open to receive. If not, don't go there. Right?
Well, one thing I'd like to offer too in the seek for the knowing, there's, you got to allow truth to be true and then consider that truth from the perspective as though it is. So if if you can if you can just imagine it. I mean, imagining it's one of our great tools. Imagination is a tool for understanding. So if you can imagine yourself in a position in relationships, personally, physically, or even spiritually, if you can imagine yourself with the answer of, yes, there is a God, there's a God who loves me. What evidence can I see to prove that to be true? Or does the evidence counter that? And the fact that we have this mystical breath that turns us into life, the fact that we all resonate at these different energies and vibrations, our voices, every voice is subtly different. Every odor is subtly different. We are different vibrations and frequencies who are constantly changing. And if you can allow your mind to see the mystical and the magical in that fact right there, to me, the evidence of the Creator is the creation. And the creation is you and me and everything we can learn. It's kind of overwhelming and humbling. Spend your life thinking that you're here. I'm speaking for me. Spend your life thinking you're something special, making sacrifices, fighting, working hard, planning, doing everything right. You think you're doing it all, and you think you're so important. You think you're so fucking important, Jack. The gods are laughing at us, guys. They gotta be. I think they got great senses of humor. The Father, the Godhead, the supreme source of all that is. I think God's got a great sense of humor. And I was thinking about this earlier, right? There's scripture about we are the image of the Creator, right? So think about what you like. We all like to be seen. We all like to be heard. We all like to be appreciated. We all like to be trusted. We all do like to be cared for and deserved. So why wouldn't our Creator want that? Want recognition, want respect, want attention, want gratitude.
Right. The difference is if you're going to use the anthropomorphized archetype, God, out of its ego, would only want to seen and be heard if there was something important to be said. And it would have to be discerning in self to know that. See, it was Lucifer and its angels that thought we all want to be heard and seen too. And we think we can do it as good or better than the white gorilla or God. So again, don't project your ego onto me when I pipe up all the time and interrupt because I think something more important should be said. I would think God would think the same thing, but maybe I think I am God, or maybe you think you're God, and that's the problem.
I believe God uses us all, but God is the peace, the stillness. God needs no voice. It's an option for us to use it. We don't have to speak the truth. The truth will be revealed through us.
The truth is
But
revealed through us, Jack. Folks find themselves some places asking the same things from the same people that they can't do for themselves. And there's a reason. There's a reason why we do everything. There's a reason you asked me to go to the UN with you. Because in the face of God or the devil, they're going to listen to me more than they're going to listen to you. That's okay. Don't say fucking no. Listen. Don't react. Listen.
don't tell me what to do. Don't
I'm
fucking get out of
asking you
your. Don't
stop
show
being
some.
reactive and talking and just
No.
listen.
Right. You're making claims that I wanted to bring you to the opportunities that I'm pursuing for one reason, and that's not fucking true.
So what would
I
I
don't
go to
want
the
you to
UN
come
to do,
because I
Jack?
think they'll. I don't want you to want you with me because I think they'll listen to you better than me. No.
Like Zachary Hubbard didn't come to me, the number counter with 2 houses and a gateway for me
So
to be
what?
a millionaire, and I had to rebuke him in front of the world because
Yeah.
he wanted me to speak for him at his event?
Right. You disrespected the opportunity that someone brought and offered to share with you.
Right.
You're disrespectful,
Right.
Paul.
I disrespected them because they disrespected the truth and try to play me and themselves
Well,
out of what the creator saw, which is our conscience.
all
Bullshit.
right. Hey, Paul, you know what? At about 2 hours,
I'll throw it
I was
all the
ready
way
to
for
wrap
what's
it
true
up.
and what's right. That's the difference.
I'm not here to argue or to continue this. So at 2 hours, I was ready to wrap it up. We got into some conversations about God, faith.
You're reacting again. You're
I
fighting your
love
money.
I love and encourage those conversations publicly, privately. I used to turn away. I used to turn away and kind of laugh at people that were Bible thumpers, right? People that cared about faith and spirituality. I thought it was stupid. Guys, there's truth in there. I mean, there's so much wisdom And the wisdom, the truth, that knowledge, it's eternal. The words may change, the definitions may alter slightly, but the messages of Jesus were simple and true. Okay? Love God and picture in your mind what being that would be, the one that's beyond space and time. Picture for yourself how you would define that. But the one that created space and time, the Father that Jesus spoke of, it's worthy of love. The one who creates nature, emotions, experience, that God is worthy of our time, attention, the love of our mind, body, and spirit, and one another. Every one another that we run into is worthy of some love because we are. The love we offer to others is the love our Creator allows us to feel. And love isn't supposed to be measured out. I love this one and not that one, or I love this one a little bit and not enough love for this one. They haven't earned the love. Love is. And love is meant to be shared. So, Wizard or DD, any final thoughts?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, buddy. I'm glad you turned it around. It was looking a little bleak there in the beginning. You looked a little, down and out. Hey, buddy, it is what it is. But as usual, be good and do good.
Amen.
Keith, good seeing you, buddy. Jack, good seeing you. I'm out.
Much love, brother. Peace. Wizard?
Inshallah, 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 if God wills it. I certainly want to say thanks for letting me up today. I know we've had our hard times. I hope you're getting my message clearly now. I do not want this controversy, Jack.
I don't either.
Same with everybody else. And with that, I want to close out. I did get my bike. I did get it put together so I can at least ride it. I got to get an engine for it now. But thanks, everybody, once again. I'm getting things fixed with PayPal. And when I get done with that, I should be able to explain to everybody how to get a PayPal account so it is totally non-restricted.
All right.
So
congratulations, brother. And
again, thank you, everybody.
As well.
Love you. I don't give a fuck whether you love me back. Have a good day.
Peace, brother. And Paul, I love you, brother. I don't believe you see what is available. I don't know I don't know what words to say or what to offer to you.
Right, nothing. Nothing is. I'm not for sale, right? So it's not.
I'm not trying to buy you. That's the
it's
thing.
Not that I don't see what's available. It's you all don't respect what's unavailable. My respect.
Right.
Let me finish.
Your
you put me in the back. I'm responding
selfishness
to you. I'm entitled to be selfish in my recovery. Okay?
All right. Well, fine.
I learned that at NA.
Okay, you're denying opportunities and blessings. You're denying yourself.
And blessings you have to bestow upon me at this moment?
None. You're ungrateful. So I love you, Paul. That was your final word. And for you others, brothers, sisters, those who joined today and who might at a later time, thank you. Thank you for sharing the gift of your time and your attention, your energy. I hope you received something, some inspiration, some different perspectives for you to consider. Because the question, the title today, what do you align yourself with? You get to choose. You get to choose what you align yourself to. You get to choose what is important to you. You get to choose what you ignore. You get to choose. You have the right to choose. And with the right to choose comes the responsibility. The responsibility to conserve and to be wise and discerning and to choose what is best. And what is best is what is true. It's always what is true, what is loving. Those are the answers that we got to stop denying. I was going to say we need to look for them, but the loving and truthful answers are always there in every relationship, in every day, in every moment. The love and the truth is always there. It may be a distance from you at that moment. It may be some effort, some actions are needed to bring forth the truth and the love that is available. But we're all here. We're all here sharing this dynamic experience of time, and we call it life. And it is an adventure. And it's easy to get caught up in the adventure, in the drama, in the continuing story, in the saga that is going on. But we need to wake up and stop just being entertained or being angered by the show that's going on in the media and around us. This is our lifetime to participate. And if we're going to be willing participants in this story of creation, then let's join the side of the light. And the side of the light is unity. It's healthy. It is. By God's grace, I look forward to what the future is going to bring to us. And for those who are with me and us today with Live Without Fear and this channel, please do the subscription thing, whatever, and share the opportunities to join here and us at a later time. So, with that, choose love, peace for everyone, and God bless. Live without fear.